board. Welcome to David Hamilton Voice. Coming to live from City of London here, the capital of the United Kingdom. My name is Akokun Tunde Omololu. Please let's share, invite friends, let them know we're here. Ẹ̀yin tèmi, ẹ káàbọ̀ ilé lóko ìrìn gbọ́ káàkiri àgbáláyé. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yín ètò rẹ̀ David Hamilton Voice. Èyí tí a fi ìdí ẹ̀ka sí olú United Kingdom tó ń pè ní London. Ó kọ́ mi ní Akokun Tunde Omololu, the London celebrity blogger. Lókè gbé ẹ káàbọ̀. Now, ẹ kú jọ́ mẹ́ta. Àlejò pàtàkì lábúwá lọ́jọ́ tí ní ìkan nínú àwọn ọmọ bàbá wa MKO Abiola, Mr. Lekan Abiola, làwọn wá sí orí ètò lẹ́nu ẹ ní àǹfààní láti gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu lọ́jọ́ tí ní. So please invite your friend, ẹ ká pàpọ̀ sí ìkájókòó ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ show. Jẹ́ kí a gbé àlejò àwọlé sórí ètò. Mr. Lekan Abiola, welcome on board.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, my brother. This is the second time you are coming to our program. Second time. That was the last time was about 3 years ago, isn't it? About 3 years ago. Adugbe Afa Alaji Ladugbe wa lele. Ṣé Afa Alaji ni?
Alaji ni o. Kọ́lá ń ṣàánú wa o.
Alhaji Lekan Abiola. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí. A dúpẹ́ pé a pè yín ẹdún jẹ́ wa. God bless you, my brother. God will honor you.
Thank you very much.
Every time I do this, man, that alone. That's a nice one. I'm a friend to the family. Thank you. You know, ẹ ká lọ sórí ètò straight away. The reason that we wá sórí ètò lọ́jọ́ tí ní pé ẹ jẹ́ kí ẹ gbé kámẹ́rà yín lọ sókè díẹ̀ nù. Ẹ kámẹ́rà yín lọ sókè díẹ̀ like that, it's okay like that, it's okay like that. It's okay like that. Okay, bẹ́ẹ̀. Okay, bẹ́ẹ̀. La fi gbé wá sórí ètò lọ́jọ́ tí ní pé ẹ rí ìwé kan tí ọ̀gágun ayé àtijọ́ lórí ìfẹ̀yìntì lẹ́yìn iṣẹ́ ológun former president of Nigeria General Muhammad Buhari nípa election bàbá yín Chief MKO Abiola tí gbogbo wa rí pé àwọn olóhùn election ní kọjá nígbà tí Babangida wà ń bẹ̀ tí Babangida wà náà election but now nísìnyí nínú ìwé Babangida wọ́n ní àwọn rí pé Abiola win the election wọ́n wà náà election pé gbogbo everything tó wà pọ̀ ní gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì òun gbà pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀gágun òun gbà pé yes òun farafá gbogbo blame lọ́wọ́ wà ń bẹ̀ ìyẹn láti bókè ká gbé yín wá sórí ètò ká bá a dá sí pé ọ̀rọ̀ tí Babangida sọ yẹn kí lè rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn o.
Well, ṣé ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa?
Àgbọ́yé.
I was very surprised nígbà tí wọ́n kọ ìwé yìí. First of all, a mọ̀ pé MKO ló win election yẹn. Everybody ti mọ̀ láti ilẹ̀ pé MKO ló win election. So ó sọ pé MKO ló win. Ó sọ nǹkan fún wa tí a mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. A mọ̀ pé MKO ló win. So that's not the issue. Issue was not that pé MKO ló win or MKO win. Issue was that annul election. So the only thing tí ó sọ tó wà different ni pé òun kọ́ ló ṣe pé some people in his government ni wọ́n ṣe. Àwọn ni wọ́n gbé order yẹn lẹ̀ pé òun ò wà aware ọ̀hún tìgbà tí òun kọ̀ gbọ́ pé wọ́n ti annul ẹ̀. Basically, in other words, he was not the one that made the decision. But gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tó name pé àwọn ló ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn gbogbo wọn ti kú. So nobody can even lè béèrè lọ́wọ́ òkú pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀. So he basically said that he was not the one that did it. That's the only surprise there. He tried to distance himself from the decision to annul it. Ìyẹn nǹkan ló yàtọ̀ nínú nǹkan tó sọ.
ibi tí àmọ́ lọ́gọ́gọ́gọ́ lẹ́dẹ̀ yẹn tí a fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ pé kí lẹ rí ti pé because àwọn tó ní Abacha mẹ́sàn Abacha mi gbogbo ọmọ ẹ̀ pé àwọn ni ṣé tó pé Abacha tó kú Abacha lè jáde kó wá defender rẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, in fact ọmọ Abacha ti dìde ti sọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ Abacha I think Mohammed ó ti respond pé baba òun was just like was not the person that annulled the election, that it was IBB fúnra wọn ló annul ẹ̀, and that baba òun was just trying to clean up the mess that IBB created. So ọmọ Abacha ti distance baba ẹ̀ from the annulment, because you see gbogbo wàhálà tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn is all stemmed from the annulment. Without the annulment there would have been no Shonekan, there would have been no interim national government, and there would have been no opportunity for Abacha to take over. All of that happened because of the annulment, and the annulment was done so that IBB himself could remain in office. Because but were not election, he was in office for another 2 months until he now stepped aside. So he annulled the election in order to remain in office. When the seat became too hot, instead of him to do the right thing and to basically give the power to MKO, instead of doing the right thing, he now gave it to Shonekan, basically. So Abacha's son has responded and said his father was not involved in the annulment.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Abiola tó jẹ́ pé àkọ́bí Kudrat Abiola, because now you lose your dad and your mom.
I tell people, my mother was my father's second wife, and she was the second wife for maybe 17 years of the marriage. So between 1972 or so, when they got married, to 1990, she was the second wife. So for 18 years, she was the second wife to my father. And in 1990, my father's first wife, Alaja Simbiat, passed away. So at that point in time now, she now became the senior wife. And then the election happened in 1993. So because she spoke Hausa, so the whole northern Nigeria, she was responsible for the campaign for the women in northern Nigeria, because she grew up in Zaria. Okay. So she really worked hard for that campaign. She was going all over the north, mobilizing the women and the youth for my father's election. So she was really invested. One invest emotionally, one invest financially. She was fully invested in this thing, because it was a chance for her finally to be out of the shadow of her senior wife, and also to be maybe a first lady of Nigeria and everything. So she was really excited about the new dawn, democracy, and things like that. So when the election was annulled, it hit my father hardest, obviously, but it hit her almost as hard. So, and when my father was now arrested by Abacha, she now took it upon herself to be the face of the struggle. So she was also killed. And I remember us begging mommy Emabo, it was a medical, if in Nigeria, wala itim koju, Abacha yẹn máa yẹn dangerous o, ó lè pa yín o, ó lè tì yín mọ́lé o, mommy ẹjọ́, ẹ máa bọ̀ l'Amẹ́ríkà, okay Lekan, màá wá next week. She kept delaying. So she had all the intention, she was going to come, but she kept, I'll come next week. After she demonstration, after she strike, money speech, money and one. So she was a fight for her soul. Her children, because she had 7 children from my father, right? She had 7 children. So our children were all begging her, Mommy Emma America, come to us. And she was like, no, Mumbo, as in she demonstration next week. I organized strike next week. So she was being pulled in 2 directions. Our children were pulling her, and my father's struggle was also pulling her until she was now killed.
So where were you that time?
Yes, I was in Washington D.C. I was university in the U.S. that time.
How old are you then?
I was like 22 years old. And I was the oldest Then I had Afsat, who was 21. Then Jamiu, who is not the SSA to the president, to Bola Tinubu. Jamiu was like 20 years old. Then we had Kafilat, who was like maybe 16. Then we had Moriam, who was like 14. Then we had Abdul Mumuni, who was like 11. Then Mohammed, who was like 9.
Okay, Mumuni any radical tó ń gbé interview
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni,
kan
òun ni.
olóògbé interview kó jẹ́ pé you are the gentle one among them.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, àwọn ni bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
You are the first one, you the gentle one. And then your junior sister then Afsat olóògbé interview CNN that.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, she was very active. In fact, she was the first one in the family to really be active with this democracy thing. She took it at that time. The rest of us were more passive, but she was more active from the beginning. You know.
So okay. Jamiu, Jamiu is working with now.
Yes, he is. He's the senior special assistant SSA to the president on foreign affairs and linguistics, because he speaks 11 languages.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Now, Babangida also community, right? Babangida also.
Yeah.
You agree? Okay, you agree with him, but you agree with him, but have you forgive him?
The problem, Tiani, the problem that we, the Abiola family, have with the Nigerian government is that government is a continuum, right? Government is a continuum. The federal government of Nigeria, SHA election, MKO came out, spent his money, invested his time, his energy. Nigerians all over Nigeria, people came out, and we did this election. It was free and fair, and the election was annulled without any reason, without any justification. Then MKO was also arrested, and he spent the remaining 4 years of his life in detention. In the meantime, his wife, Kudirat Olayinka Abiola, was also assassinated. And at the same time, both of them, their businesses were destroyed. The federal government went through all our companies and demolished everything. Basically, they messed up all our businesses. So we lost our parents, we lost our assets, we lost a lot of money, you know. And so when the government now says, okay, June 12th is Democracy Day, when Babangida says, okay, I'm kind of sorry for what I did and everything, the government, they have not seen it fit to give this man, MKO Abiola, his entitlements as an elected president, to pay him and his family his entitlements from the time he was meant to have left office. You have not done anything for the family. You have not compensated the family. You have not, the government has just basically abandoned the family. So when you look at it, he said it, he did a book launch, and the Nigerian people or Nigerian billionaires came together. They rallied around IBB and they donated almost 18 billion naira to him. All well and good for a library that he wants to build, supposedly. But the fact of the matter is that the man, the Abiola family, the MKO family that you robbed, the Nigerian people, Nigerians that died because of this thing, what has the Nigerian government done for the family and for those Nigerians who suffered losses, who lost loved ones? What compensations have you done for them? Nothing. So it's like you mention Abiola's name, you get all the views, you get all the attention, and in this case, you got 18 billion naira. You're basically compensating him for what he did. You see? You are compensating. This is what he did, is treasonable act. In reality, you went against the will of the Nigerian people. You scuttled the will of the Nigerian people. That is a treasonable act. Anywhere in the world, you'll be arrested and you'll be charged for treason, basically. But in this particular case, you did not. We are rewarding him. The president of Nigeria was there. Former Vice President Oshibaji was there. Former President Obasanjo was there. Former President Jonathan was there. All the richest Nigerians were all there, clapping and donating and basically thanking him. You are basically thanking him for what he did. Everybody was laughing and smiling, and here's 100 million, here's 500 million, here's 1 billion, which is all well and good. But how about the MKO family? How about the family? How about MKO Abiola's entitlement?
Yeah, that was the question I wanted to ask you before. That was the next question I wanted to ask you before. But see, combination of family or not, because I was shocked. But he one number, don't annoy election Nigeria. It ought to be in prison by now. Progress. You don't annoy election. I think I go on prison. I go on prison.
Exactly.
During the election. Àwọn ọmọ láì wọ́n bá gbóni mi jẹ́ àwọn tá gbà jìyà tá ṣe everything fún èèyàn kọ̀ sí wàhálà fún Nàìjíríà àwọn tó compensate everyone laugh.
There will be no for the real genuine people who are fighting on the front lines for democracy. Hardly any of them were compensated. Nobody. And most of the people today, in different offices and different appointments, are people who never lost a fingernail for democracy. That's the diversity of this whole thing. That is what is really painful for us as the family members.
I agree with you. A lot of people. It's like, but that's why I want to know MKO Abiola. And then there's something really MKO. How close are you to I'm going to have like a very member? Close.
Well,
we don't go ayé wọn náà jà fún bàbá yín pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà but mi ò rí ọmọ MKO kankan jẹ́ pé tí mo rí pé bóyá they appreciate what Afẹ́nifẹ́re wọn ló ń jà fún bàbá yín tó ń rí lè gbé bàbá yín mi ò rí closeness ní pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá yẹn pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn ọjà tó ń jà because like I was saying àwọn ní Nàdẹ́kò bàbá Adésànyà gbogbo all those Afẹ́nifẹ́re mọ bàbá tó kú láìpẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ ní wọn náà fi jà fún injustice against ìkànnì ọmọ Yorùbá MKO Abiola but after then mo rí pé none of Abiola's son tó àbí dọ́tà ìwọ̀n ìbọn Abiola ọmọ àkọ́dọ́ orílẹ̀ tó close ní ọ̀fẹ́ pé tó rí lè yí ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ̀rọ àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re yẹn kí ló fà á.
Well, you see, in reality, we are close to Abraham Adesanya, Ganiu Daudu, Olorogun, Segun Oshoba. We are close to them in reality. But you have to understand that after democracy came to Nigeria, most of these people, Afenifere, most of them were sidelined. The reality is that most of them were sidelined. That's why there was a break between AD and AC, between Tinubu group, the Tinubu group and the Afenifere group. One split. Afenifere stayed with AD. AD is a dead party now. Remember that AD was the main party in the Southwest in 1999. But after 2003, AD, since then, the Afenifere group were never part of, they never had much influence in governance anymore. The main leader in the Southwest has been Asiwaju. Asiwaju has been the dominant strain in the Southwest. And at that time, Obasanjo was president of Nigeria because they compensated Obasanjo. The compensation that was due to the Southwest because of June 12, Obasanjo was the beneficiary of that compensation. They had an election in Nigeria that for the first time, only Yorubas, 2 Yorubas were running, Obasanjo and Falaye. whoever shared it in Nigeria, go match election, and only somebody for only the candidates are from one tribe. That happened in 1999 in order to compensate the Yorubas for June 12th. And Obasanjo, okay. Obasanjo, he was the biggest beneficiary. He became the president of Nigeria after June 12th, after the elections in 1999. And Obasanjo I think he had some issues with my father. He had maybe I don't know whether it's jealousy or whatever, but he never did anything. He basically ignored MKO. Hardly mentioned his name at all. The idea that you are only president because the Nigeria wants to compensate Yoruba and they're not using you to compensate Yoruba made him upset. He wanted to believe that he was president based on his own doing, on his own personality. He didn't want to accept that he was basically Ola MKO Lonje. He didn't like that idea that way Ola MKO Lonje. So once he became president, he distanced himself from MKO. He never did anything for MKO or anything for MKO's family. And so when we go and meet people, like we go and meet Yar'Adua, when Yar'Adua became president, Yar'Adua is saying to himself, why are you meeting me? All these things you're asking me about, why didn't you get it from Obasanjo, who is from Ogun State? If Obasanjo from Ogun State did not do all these things you're talking about, why should I from Katsina do it? She understands, you know? So it's been very difficult for the family because Obasanjo that was meant to have done a lot at that time, he felt that he wanted to distance himself from the MKO legacy. He didn't want to admit that he was basically enjoying the sacrifice of MKO. So he didn't want to go there. Basically, that was his attitude. But Mama fún àwọn MKO Abiola ní any compensation or boya Mama fún ní anything. You know, he hardly ever mentioned June 12th. He hardly mentioned my father. In fact, you can count the number of times he mentioned MKO. And then Yar'Adua came in. He too, he maybe would have done something better, but he wasn't there for too long until he also passed away. Then Jonathan now came. He tried. He wanted to do something. He named University of Lagos MKO University, but there was a lot of resistance to that. So he too now ran away from it. So it was until Buhari did June 12 and made June 12 a national holiday before we got any kind of federal government recognition of the June 12 sacrifice. You know, so it's not that we distanced ourselves from Afenifere. We were close to them, but Afenifere and Asiwaju, there was they fell out. So Afenifere,
but the late Adebanjo and Baba
man, in fact, I was with Chief Adebanjo like a year ago. A year ago in Lekki. So I maintained my ties to Abraham Adesanya and Chief Onoba Adebanjo and many of them, Ganiu Daudu, late of blessed memory, you know. But so it was more of a personal relationship because they were not in a position to do much for anybody in politics because they were also facing issues with Asiwaju.
So how close are you to president now? Asiwaju, I know you're very close to that. Yeah, that was a lie. So how close are you?
Yes,
how close are you? Family?
Yes. I'm close. We are close to him, and he has given my brother Jamiu an appointment as a SSA and things like that. And in fact, they were even thinking of making him a minister, but at the last minute, the agreement was that what he told us was that, "Hey, I'll give you a ministerial slot to the family." And at the last minute, there was something happened, and then he now gave the ministerial slot to somebody else. I don't want to mention the name. But so he was meant to have been a minister, but he gave him an SSA. So we'll see how that goes going forward. But he had promised us a ministerial appointment, and we're about to get that one. But at the last minute, he called us and I can't give you that ministerial slot again, but I'll give you this one and give me some time. Maybe I'll now give you that one later. So let's see what happens, inshallah.
Are you a politician?
Not anymore. I'll leave that to Jamiu and to Abdul Mumuni. Me, I just focus on my own business. Inshallah.
So you are telling me that Abiola family here agree with Babangida.
Well, we agree to it, and first of all, he said that MKO won the election. We know that he did, so we agree with that. And he said that it was not his fault, that it was a decision by the military not to go ahead with June 12th, that the military didn't want to hand over, not him. So he said that the military did not want to hand over, not him. You know, so now we know that obviously people like Abacha, people like David Mark, people like this did not want to leave power. So that is also true, you know, but that he was not the one that annulled the election, that there was people in the government that did it. We don't agree with that part. And also, another thing again, why we don't agree with him is that now that you've done what you've done, now that you've admitted that you betrayed your friend, because IBB and my father were very good friends. Whenever my father would do a naming ceremony in the house, that time the capital of Lagos, of Nigeria, was in Lagos. So whenever my father would do a naming ceremony, IBB would come personally. One time he came, he drove himself like a regular civilian. He was so surprised. He drove himself to the house like a civilian. No police, no escort. He drove himself to the house for the naming ceremony, spent like 1 hour and left, and he drove himself back to the state house. You know, I remember him, so that's how close he was to my for a head of state to come to somebody's house to drive himself. Is very rare to see, but he did it. So he and my father were very close. So for you to have done what you did to your friend, to betray your friend, I remember my father was like calling him during that time. Babangida, Oremi, Oremi, why now? It's like you, for your own friend, forget about politics. They had a personal relationship, you know, and my father was really hurt that Oremi, my friend, Oremi Gidi Ole, she don't come by for me, you know. So there was a personal betrayal. Apart from the political side, there was a personal relationship that was severed by this act. And what is upsetting to me is that IBB, because I met him twice since he left office, and he would say things like he's very sorry for what happened and things like that, you know. But what we're not happy about is that, look, is not as close to you. You see, if me and you are friends, Kimba Shane to that, if I should betray you, and then my betrayal led to you dying. Do you understand, sir? If I betray you and my betrayal led to your death, I will make sure that I will draw your children close and try to compensate your children for the betrayal I did to you. That is my own opinion. So you understand?
Yeah.
So for you to say that you feel bad about what you did to my father, blah blah blah, but you are not shown any love, much love to his children and his family after him. That's our issue. If you didn't put the fact that MKO won the election in your book, if you not mention the June 12 issues, no one will listen to what you're saying. From the first day he wrote that book, Nigerians have been talking about MKO. You use MKO to get attention for the book. You understand what I'm saying, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah? If not for the MKO revelations, no one would care what you have to say. You are head of state 32 years ago. What relevance is whatever you did for present day Nigeria today? You collected 18 billion naira in Nigeria. You collect 18 billion naira basically from the book that you wrote. That the only reason people even care about the book is because of MKO. You know. And what have you personally done for MKO's children or MKO's? Have you told Tunumbu or Remi Tunumbu? Can you accord MKO all his rights as a president? Can you make sure that the entitlement due to him is paid to his family?
So what I wanted to ask, that's the another question I wanted to ask. If I don't think, okay, what of MKO? Well, actually, is a former president now, right? Say, combination of what?
Exactly.
Family.
Exactly. Because I remember when Shonekon died, and I used to go to his house, and we would see army, police protection in his house as the former head of state. And you would see, like every year or every 3 years, the federal government will give him brand new cars as a former head of state. And as a former head of state, they had to maintain a house for him. Head of state, there was some entitlements that Shoneko was enjoying because he was head of state for 6 months, interim national government. But MKO, who actually
the service is not too good. The network is bad there. Sorry, your network, okay, carry on. Your network is
Ben.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, so like I said, Shonekon, when he died, even to today, the federal government is still getting, his families, they are still receiving entitlements from the federal government because their father, Shonekon, was the former head of state. But Shonekon was never elected, he was just appointed and was there for 6 months. But how about the MKO who was elected, who now died in detention, 4 years in detention, who suffered, whose wife was killed? Where is his own entitlement? Why don't you give MKO his entitlements? Why doesn't his family, like when our house was robbed a couple of years ago, because we had no police in the house now. We had no police in the house. Armed robbers entered the house and they robbed us. We had no police in the house. Shoneko's house has police there. Shoneko's house has police. They have police and army because he's a former head of state. MKO that won election, where is his own police protection for his family? That kind of thing,
Oh, but okay, you said you met Babangida twice.
Yes. No, what we spoke, he said that one thing he did say, he said that when he became president, then my father came to him and said, look, he has done some contracts for the federal government under Obasanjo, under Shagari, that they have not yet paid him the money. So he said that he set up a committee to look into it. That is it true that MKO did contracts, supplied us with some equipment, and we have not paid him? So when he set up that committee, that Obasanjo called him and said, is it true that you set up a committee to investigate how much federal government owes MKO? And he said, yes, I told Obasanjo I did that. The Obasanjo said, don't pay him that money. Don't pay him that money. That's what he said. So he paid the money. Yes, Obasanjo said, don't pay him. Don't pay MKO. Yes. So he now said to Obasanjo, why will I not pay it if we owe him? Why? So eventually he paid the money. So he said Obasanjo called him and told him, where you've paid MKO that money, Abi, where you will regret it.
That was what Babangida told you when you met him.
Yes.
So
that he said that the problem between him and Obasanjo was because he paid MKO, my father, the money the federal government owed MKO at that time.
So that's the meeting. You will not be compensated.
Then.
Election.
Basically, I wouldn't have paid him his money. Basically, that even Obasanjo told me that I should not pay him that money, but yet I still paid the money.
Yeah, but why don't you ask? Did you ask him? Why did you announce the election then? Did you ask him why
he said that he annulled the election. He said he annulled the election to save your father's life. That I told your father that, but if I should hand over to you, it won't last 2 weeks. That they're going to kill you and they also kill me. That's what he said. No, man, he also is in his book now. He said that they're threatening him that if he should go ahead with this handover, both his life and the life of MKO were on the line. That's what he said.
People like David Mark. Yes. President Nigeria, David Mark. David Mark dead. He was threatening.
I think that the issue, no, it's not that what MKO did. First of all, it's an aberration for the military to be in power. It's an aberration. Like my father used to say, be pay a young Megad over a shole, then Megad will take over Ile. That's what a military takeover is. I want to appoint pé ẹ bá wa ṣọ́ ìlú wa, ẹ bá wa tọ́jú border wa, wọ́n wá padà wá di ọ̀gá wa. She understand? It's an aberration.
Because your dad was very
so these military men found themselves.
He was very close to all of the militaries then.
Then
they were close.
Then, but so these military men, our military, they found themselves in a position that they should never have been in. They should never have been in. They should never have been in political leadership. Now that they are there, now, one fair feeling. She understand? So for them, it was like, okay, IBB, if you go and MKO takes over, all of us, Abacha, David Marco, we're going to be retired. And we have tasted power and want to continue to enjoy this power. So that was not like they had an issue with MKO per se. They had an issue with handing over power to anybody. So it doesn't matter who would win that election. Even IBB himself will not go for Bele. Abacha will not go IBB continue. So they are looked at it as at one power nisini. So Bele. So it was not a personal beef with MKO. It was a personal beef with living power. One fair kuro ni power. That was it.
One fair cool power. So now, the Colonel President Abiola ló wà lórí oyè ńsìn, right? Ló wà lórí oyè ńsìn. Ṣé wọ́n promise pé gbogbo ẹ̀tọ́ MKO ṣé wọ́n gbà promise ní pé bí wọ́n máa gbé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wọn ṣe fún wọn as government of state or former president?
Well, wọ́n tí promise yẹn o. Wọ́n tí promise yẹn. But we are hoping that now that this wọ́n tí promise yẹn. But we're hoping that now that this IBB book came out, that we are likely to set up a meeting with the president and ask him formally to do that.
Okay, only your head of state. Like former president. Like
kò sí nǹkan kan sẹ́. Yorùbá sọ pé àfi sùúrù àfi sùúrù kò ṣe nǹkan kan rárá.
Now,
Oh, it's not come.
bí Nàìjíríà ṣe ń lọ sí, how will you feel? Or how do you, feel pé nǹkan tí bàbá yín tó ń jà fún tó kúlé lórí pé ṣé nǹkan tó kúlé lórí lélẹ́yìí pé how do you feel now? Pé ṣé Nàìjíríà tí bàbá mi ìyá mi tí wọ́n kúlé lórí lélẹ́yìí ó yẹn lọ yìí.
Okay, number one, number one, the most important thing is pé every 4 years, election match in Nigeria. So whoever is in power, whether it's APC, PDP, whatever, every 4 years.
Sorry, your language
will not. Okay, I will be back now. Okay, every 4 years there's election. Number two, there's freedom of speech. Basically, you can criticize anybody. You can criticize the president, you can criticize the vice president, you can criticize the speaker. There's more of freedom for Nigerian people. The main problem is the economic issue. Economically, things are not doing very well. But Tinubu is trying, and the naira is getting better, and the cost of petrol is reducing, and things like that. So we're hoping that maybe before the next election, Tinubu, the economy will be in a better position. Because if the economy is this bad, next election, I don't think it will come back. So he too is working hard, trying to bring down inflation and things like that. So we'll see how it goes. But every 4 years, whoever is in power, whether at the federal level or at the state level, you're going to need to show dividends to the people, or else you're not for the average Nigerian. For him to come back, Umali. So I think that what they fought for, which is democracy, it will lead to more freedom, and it will lead to greater economic growth overall, over time.
Okay. Now, how do you assess government of Tinubu and the past president Buhari? To assess the two governments.
Okay, I think that Tinubu's government has really, because when Buhari became president, we advised him to remove the subsidy of petrol. As of your subsidy, let Nigerian government, let Nigerian people know, remove the subsidy, because Nigerian government cannot afford to subsidize petrol for 200 million people. And he did not do so for 8 years. When Tinubu became president, the first thing he said was that there's no more subsidy. And that caused a huge increase in the price of petrol. But now, the federal government is no longer borrowing trillions of naira to subsidize petrol. Because the Buhari left us with a huge debt. The state would have collapsed under that regime. We could not continue the subsidy regime anymore. So Tinubu has basically set Nigeria now a part of economic reality. This is the let every Nigerian, let FSA. But example now, in electricity now, it did a band A system where the price of electricity has tripled, but you get 20 hours every day. So yes, the price has tripled, but you get 20 hours every day. So at least we know that, okay, for 20 hours a day, basically, I'm at low. So that's been an improvement in the electricity supply. It's more expensive, but at least not low. So there's been, we can see his reforms. It's tough in the beginning, but with time, like the price of petrol now has gone down from 1,100 to now 900 and something. So it's going down generally. The dollar $800 to 8. So the naira is. So we are seeing some improvements, but we need to see more.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lekan Abiola, bó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yin family pẹ̀lú afẹ́nifẹ́re lẹ́ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀. Ṣé ẹ believe pé MKO family ṣé close wọn ọmọ Yorùbá mo tún béèrè pé because mo ò tí ì rí closeness láàrin MKO Yorùbá mo mọ ọkùnrin tí Yorùbá ajà fún ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni ìwé bí ayé rà but still náà Abiola náà ni symbol time ẹ̀ wọ́n mi ò rí closeness ẹ̀yin ọmọ MKO sí Yorùbá mo tún tẹnu mọ́ mi ò tí ì rí nìyí bí kò Yorùbá wá ṣe kó mi ò rí ọmọ ẹ̀kọ́ ìjọba pé Yorùbá ṣe kó mi ò rí kẹ́ voice out tọ́mọdéyìn tí Yorùbá mi ò rí ọmọ ẹ̀kọ́ kankan tó voice out kó tẹ̀lé pé kí àwọn Yorùbá yìí náà tó bàbá mi pàtó àmì mo ní mọ́tò tèmi ń ba mọ́tò mo gbèsè mo jẹ kò sí Yorùbá tó fara gbá nínú kíní MKO láyé ọmọ wa ànígbà bọ́ wá wá rí pé mo wà ní pé kò sọmọ ẹ̀kọ́ ìkan lórí tàbí rí pé kí Yorùbá wá ṣe nǹkan tẹ́lẹ̀ máa tàbá rí wájú pé àwọn náà sọ pọtì kọjú Yorùbá ń ṣe kí ló fà á.
No, definitely. àwọn MKO Yorùbá ni wá kò sí any doubt Yorùbá 100% and nǹkan tó bá dùn Yorùbá ó dùn wá immediately ẹ mọ̀ pé Yorùbá ni wá kò sí nǹkan kan Yorùbá ni a wà pẹ̀lú Yorùbá all the way. I'm very active. Me personally, I'm active in Ekiti. I'm active in Osun. I'm active in Ogun àti Ọ̀yọ́. The only place tí mo fi bẹ́ẹ̀ wà active ní Ondo. But when it comes, and I live in Lagos. All my family, my wives, my children, Èkó ni wọ́n ń gbé. So, anything tó bá kan Yorùbá, ó kan àwa. But at the same time, Ọlọ́run ti fún wa ṣe Yorùbá man ló wà ní power nísìnyí. You know, so if there's anything tó máa kan Yorùbá, Aṣíwájú ó dúró fún. So I think that Yorùbás are any problem. Our governors are doing pretty well. Most of our governors, there is mostly peace. Yoruba land, we're having the economy in Yoruba land in Southwest is the best in Nigeria. So I don't think that, and we have the best security in all over Nigeria. The Yoruba land is the most secure. So I don't see any issues that is affecting Yorubas. But if it's affecting Yorubas, we are concerned.
You say you are not active in Londo. Why? Londo. Active for Londo.
I don't know why. I've not been very close with Ondo ever since Ade Farati and Mimiko left office. I've not been going there, but that's the only place I've not been going.
You know that you're not from Ondo.
No more Epelesa. You know, the last time Timolosi Ondo for anything politics was when Benny Ajasi was my father's very close friend, you know, and Ade Farati too. And
like your brother,
you know, the last governor that died, Ben.
Kola used to come to my place in Aguda then when I was in Zulere.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Kola is my
Aguda, okay.
But she married while I was there.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
Now, let me go. We're soon finished now. There's this woman.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Madam Onichiri Abiola.
Okay.
Who is that? Is that woman? She Yahoo Papa Yeni Onichiri Abiola. Is Yahoo Papa Yeni?
Well, èmi ò lè sọ pé wọ́n ń ṣe ìyàwó bàbá mi because bàbá mi ìyàwó pọ̀. So I'm sure that maybe she was one of them. No problem, you know. And I know that she was involved in this Oduduwa, you know. She was involved with declaring Oduduwa Republic or something like that. She was. You know, and I haven't spoken to her in a long time. So I don't know exactly the situation with this Yoruba declaration. I don't know what exactly happened with that.
You met her before?
Yeah, of course. I know her very well. I know her.
But why do you say maybe then?
No, well, like when I don't know the exact relationship. I don't know the exact relationship between her and my father like that. I know that she said like me ìyàwó bàbá yìí ni mo jẹ́. Okay, she understand. Me ò deny pé wọ́n ń ṣe ìyàwó bàbá mi. you know. But I know that, but I don't know exactly what happened with two of them. Maybe before my father was locked up, I don't know what the situation was, you know.
But ó jọ gba ti ń gbọ́ ó jọ kó bímọ fún bàbá yìí bá ti ń gbọ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, wọ́n sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. So he had my father had 55 children. And of the 55 he had, I know like 30. So there are like 25 kids of my father that I have not yet met. You know?
Now, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Some are in England, some are in the US.
Now,
Are
you happy? You might say Lórúkọ Abiola láti commit wọn tó ṣe kiri ọ̀ ṣe, are you happy about it? I'm
not happy because my father MKO was about Nigerian unity. MKO was about the unity of Nigeria. He believed in one Nigeria. He never believed in Nigeria. He never liked the idea of Nigeria to separate. You know, so any Abiola that is talking about making Yoruba long, that is not the message of MKO at all. MKO was all about one Nigeria, not to divide the country. Yes, we have our states and local government and things like that. So you can you can share power, devolution of power is possible. Give the state some things, give the local government some things and things like that. But no. So she was trying to go on that route of separatism, and we don't like that.
Let me tell you one thing. Nípa ọ̀rọ̀ kápínlú yẹn, irú èmi tẹ̀ ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ ń sìn, irú èmi náà níta mi torí ọ̀rọ̀ MKO Abiola ó pẹ̀lú mọ̀tẹ́ pé mi náà mo pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ń jà pé kápín Nàìjíríà, mo pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ń jà pé kápín Nàìjíríà lóde fa ni pé ìkan ló ṣe fún MKO Abiola pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ṣe fún Yorùbá ló bí àwa nú pé ṣé ìkan náà wọn wá lè mú election tẹ pa sẹ́wọ̀n tẹ pa síbẹ̀ tẹ dínà ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú gbogbo tó ṣe fún Nàìjíríà pé kí ni wọ́n á lọ jókòó Nàìjíríà fún pẹ̀lú gbogbo tó ń ṣe ó pẹ̀lú wọn lè wá dábìdé pé àfẹ́ Nàìjíríà mọ́ tẹ́bà ti ṣe mọ́tẹ́ kan ṣe pé Abiola ti kú ìṣòro náà láǹsọ̀ sí ẹ tó win election free and fair election ẹ pàdánù tó pé kì í ṣe ibi kò wá láti tribe yín ẹ pa so kò tó fà á tí àwọn akọ̀mọ̀ ìṣe pé náà àmọ́tá fi jà pé kí ni bọ̀ ohun tí ẹ tó pẹ̀ ní àbá ọ̀tẹ́ pẹ̀ mọ̀ yìí ó tó pẹ̀ ní àwọn bàbá yìí kì í ṣe ara wa náà torí pé àwọn ta bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation time ẹ̀ òun kàn yí tiẹ̀ sọ́tọ̀ ni kì í ṣe ara wa tó bá àgbé bẹ́ẹ̀ peaceful king na fi ṣe time ẹ̀ peaceful king na fi ṣe but òun ló kàn gbé tiẹ̀ tó dá tiẹ̀ tó because you cannot go olè lọ face government kan bá government kan wé jam negative government o ti train o ti commit offence ni ẹ ìyẹn o ṣe pé o jà fún peaceful king mọ́ àwọn yìí ti wá ní peaceful man and time yẹn ni pé thank God pé ọmọ wa ló wà bẹ́ẹ̀ sí ó dẹ̀ ṣe ọ̀dà ń jà fún ó dẹ̀ ti ṣe now let me go into kájọ parí ètò kí ni relationship tó wà láàrin you are the fourth one of Madam Kola Abiola. Kola Abiola is the fourth one of Madam Simbat Abiola. Ẹ̀yin pẹ̀lú ọmọ ìyá yín tó mo rí irú Dayo junior brother Jamiu gbogbo ọkàn ìdájọ́ tó ń pẹ́ wọn kan but it's only you that not Mumuni yesterday. It's only you tí mo ti rí gbọ́ lẹ́yìn ọ̀dà kí ni àṣepọ̀ tó wà láàrin ọmọ ìyá yín pẹ̀lú Kola Abiola lọ́jọ́gbọ̀n yín.
Inú mi dùn pé sọ pé ẹ̀yà àti Kola pé ọ̀rẹ́ ni yín. Ẹ sọ pé ẹ̀yà àti Kola ẹ̀gbọ́n mi pé ọ̀rẹ́ ni yín pé ó máa ń wá sílé yín ní Àgùdà. Inú mi tẹ̀ dùn bẹ́ẹ̀ni so ìkọ́tẹ́ bá wa ṣe ni pé ẹ lè sọ fún wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ni ẹ bá mi sọ fún ọ̀rẹ́ yín ẹ̀gbọ́n mi pé àfẹ́ èmi àwọn family Kudirat àwọn ọmọ Kudirat àti àwọn ọmọ Alájà Bísí àti àwọn ọmọ all the other children a fẹ́ bá ẹ̀gbọ́n wa jà a fẹ́ bá wọn jà kò sí kí là ń jà fún ṣe understand but ẹ sọ fún ọ̀rẹ́ yín pé kó ṣe dáadáa wàláì tàláì mo ń sọ wájú gbogbo all your listeners pé ẹ sọ fún ọ̀rẹ́ yín ẹ̀gbọ́n mi pé kó ṣe dáadáa kó dẹ̀ ṣe òótọ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ bàbá ẹ̀ because bàbá mi tí wọ́n kú wọ́n fi will lẹ̀ and will sọ pé gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí mo bá ní o kí àwọn ọmọ mi kàn ṣe DNA number one kàn ṣe DNA and anyone tó bá pass DNA yẹn o nǹkan tí mo bá ní ẹjọ́ pín láàrin wọn ṣe understand nǹkan tí mo sọ very simple and àwa àdìṣe DNA yẹn àwa tá a dẹ̀ ṣe àwa tá a pass we are 55 in number ṣe understand now ẹ̀gbọ́n lẹ̀gbọ́n jẹ́ so kí ó bá jẹ́ pé $1 billion wà ńlẹ̀ let's say $1 billion wà ńlẹ̀ tó yẹ kẹ́ pín fún wa kí ẹ̀gbọ́n ó bá mú 300 million sápò ṣe understand nǹkan tí mo ń sọ kí ó bá pe àwọn ọmọ ìyá ẹ̀ kó fún ọ ní under 200 million pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ ìyá mi ọmọ síbi àti ẹ̀yin náà ẹ gba 200 million ó bá kú 500 million ó yá ẹ̀yin ọmọ bàbá mi gbogbo yín o ẹ pín ìtókù yìí ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ nǹkan tí mo ń sọ àní bá wọn àní sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn sọ pé ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ ṣe o ṣé ọ̀nà àtọ̀kọ́ tí mò ń sọ but a situation pé ẹ máa gba owó billions of naira billion àtọ́tọ̀ ẹ gba owó almost 70 billion naira ẹ gba 70 billion naira Kọ́lá ìwọ Kọ́lá Agbo Dèjì Wúrà Bọ́lájí ẹ̀yin márùn-ún ẹ pín 70 billion àwa tó kù ẹ fún wa ní 1 kọ́bọ̀ àbúrò mi ó wá ń pariwo síta ṣe understand àbúrò mi wá ń pariwo síta ṣe understand so ẹ̀yin this is your friend ẹ bá sọ̀rọ̀ pé wá wọ́n ń ṣe nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ inshallah. Okay ẹ ti bá sọ̀rọ̀ okay wọ́n kẹ́ bá di ṣá kẹ́ bá di inshallah.
mo ló ti gba 70 billion yẹn mo ló ti gba 70 billion yẹn.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
mo ló ti gba 70 billion yẹn táì mo ló ti gba 70 billion.
No, like bóyá 2.5 years ago or so.
No, ta ló fún 70 mo ló ti 70 ta ló fún 70 billion yẹn.
No, ẹ mọ̀ pé bàbá mi ní oil block.
Yeah,
so epo tí wọ́n tà.
Summit oil.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni epo tí wọ́n tà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ṣé o ti ta Summit oil àbóyè wà lálẹ́ ìsìn wa?
No kò tà ó ta epo wọ́n ta crude láti bẹ̀.
Okay.
Wọ́n ta crude.
I remember àgbà máa yẹ ẹ̀kú yẹn. Bí àbáṣe àwọn ẹ̀kú wọ́n sì sí
bẹ́ẹ̀ni wọ́n sì sí block yẹn but
ní wọ́n ti pé kọ́ńtọ́lá wà gbà mọ́ sí ọ̀dọ́ pé kọ́ńtọ́lá gbà kọ́ àgbà náà ìkọ́lá kò fẹ́ gbà lọ́wọ́ kò fẹ́ gbà kí ni ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn táìmù ẹ̀.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
àìkọ́lá kò fẹ́ gbà lọ́wọ́ wọn ti dàda táìmù pé gbàmú wà náà ìyàkọ́lá fẹ́ wọ́n ní kọ́ńtọ́lá wà gbà sọ́mìtì ẹ̀kọ́ wà gbà kí ni ẹ̀ kọ́ńtọ́lá kò fẹ́ gbà mí wà létà wà gbà létà ni wà mọ̀ kò fẹ́ gbà
Yar'Adua ó dá padà.
Yar'Adua dá padà ok láǹsẹ̀ padà so láǹsẹ̀ ti wà lọ́wọ́ kọ́ láǹsẹ̀ ọwọ́ Kọ́lá ló wà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
so gbogbo ọmọ ìyá gbogbo ọmọ bàbá kò sí nǹkan tó nínú sọ́mẹ́tì rẹ̀ kò sí ẹ̀rí kankan nínú nǹkan tó ń jáde níbẹ̀ tó wọlé tó ń jáde níbẹ̀.
kọ́bọ̀ àrí kọ́bọ̀.
kí ni àti Kọ́lá wá sọ.
kí ló fẹ́ kò sọ̀rọ̀ náà kò sọ̀rọ̀ a lè rí ní ká bá pè kò tí ó bá gbé kọ́ ni ó ń sá fún wa ni kò sọ̀rọ̀ kí ló fẹ́ sọ náà kò sọ̀rọ̀ náà kò sọ̀rọ̀ kí ló fẹ́ sọ.
kì í ṣe gbogbo ọmọ MKO kì í ṣe mítìnì ẹjọ́ ṣe mítìnì pẹ̀lú kẹ́dà ni kì í yọ gbogbo ọmọ MKO kì í ṣe mítìnì kẹ́dà ni pẹ̀lú Kọ́lá pẹ̀lú gbogbo.
a máa ń ṣe meeting but a máa ń ṣe meeting láàrin ara wa but wọ́n kì í sí níbẹ̀.
Kọ́lá kì í wá. Sísá yín wọ́n kọ́ ẹ̀dẹ́wọ̀.
òun náà ó máa ń wá náà but kí la fẹ́ ṣe nígbà tí kò bá wá kò wá náà nìyẹn you understand.
But ṣé àwọn agbó máa ń wá?
That side ò kí ń wá. Side ò kí ń wá.
Now, àwọn estate bàbá yín kọ́ kíláàbù gbogbo estate Abiola bookshop, Abiola farm, Abiola book ọmọ yẹn kíláàbù sí.
Nǹkan ṣe bí bá wo interview àbúrò mi ó di sọ gbogbo ẹ̀ ó di sọ síta. This is all in the public domain. Àbúrò mi ti ṣe interview lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ó náà ti sọ gbogbo ẹ̀. Kò sí nǹkan tó yà kí n pọ́n pamọ́. Àbúrò mi Abdulmumini ó ti sọ ó ti ṣe interview ó dẹ̀ ti là á mọ́lẹ̀. Kò sí nǹkan tó yà hide. So ẹ bá ẹ̀gbọ́n mi sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ bá sọ̀rọ̀.
Gbogbo estate everything kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ everything Abiola kò sí nǹkan.
At all.
Anyway, Ọlọ́run yanjú ẹ̀.
Àmín ya Rabbi, àmín. So thank you very much. Pé a máa ṣe 30 minutes interview. Only the 1 hour báyìí.
That's why I don't want to go further. That wasn't why I wanted to go further.
Ẹ ṣé gan. Thank you very much.
Lekan Abiola, my brother, thank you. This is the second time I'm calling you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. God will honor you.
Thank you. No, and you too. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Whatever.
Hey, to me, that was Mr. Lekan Abiola, who drive the first song. Ẹ ṣe gbogbo wọ̀nyí tèmi tẹ́wà lórí ìtùlálẹ̀ òun lè ti gbọ́ yẹn ẹ ti gbọ́rọ̀ lórí lẹ́nu ọlọ́rọ̀ ẹ ṣe gan àwọn ẹ̀yin lẹ́wọ̀n máa rí bàbá ti wá ẹ máa bá abáyín abáyín lè sọ mọ́lẹ̀ sọ ọkọ̀ nínú ọmọ anyway ẹ ṣe gan tẹ́wọ̀ being part of this beautiful program àdúgbò gbogbo ìtẹ̀wà lórí ìtùlálẹ̀ ìtẹ̀bá ìṣe wọlé ẹ bá wa pín ìtò káàkiri ìtẹ̀bá ìtìbò ẹ bá pín káàkiri and then you can see you are free to comment my comment lọ gba parí omi ìdókè má comment wá free pa gbogbo tí ẹ gbọ́ lálẹ́ comment lórí ká máa rí comment síbẹ̀. So ẹ ṣe Adé Richard thank you Edo thank you everyone thank you jáde gbogbo ìmọ̀dúnbẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìwò dáwà lórí ètò lálẹ́ thanks a lot fún Princess Moyo Sage thank you gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí máa rí tí mo rí ẹ má bínú pé ẹ̀yin tí mo bá rí ẹ má bínú pé ẹ tẹ̀wá lórí ètò ẹ ṣe mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín ẹ tí wọ́n bá pín gbogbo ètò ẹ bá pín káàkiri àwọn ilẹ̀ tí gbọ́ yẹn so ẹ ká máa ṣe dáadáa ẹ ká máa ṣe dáadáa láyé ẹ ká máa ṣe dáadáa thanks a lot as no àti parí ètò tí Baba MKO Abiola. If I call him, I want to call him. If you want to be okay, where's my this? The banding got the rest of that, but let me 1 minute, please. 1 minute, please. One minute, please. Now. But yeah, if you have a number to call in at the back of the better. If you have anything to want to contribute, then my charger, then my speaker there. Ade, me look on Richard. Ade Richard. What's the number to call it? I don't know the number to call. I don't know it of it. I don't have to carry Lekan Abiola. So.
Power on. Bluetooth mode. Connecting.
Yeah, let me call Richard. I'm calling you back.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome, my brother.
It's a very wonderful interview.
Thank you, my
And
brother.
I really love the interview, and I like all the questions here. And Lekan Abiola spoke very well, brilliantly, and he really did a justice to all the questions there. To my satisfaction, because to be honest, also to that, but the like what she done on the especially the last one, you feel sad or really especially what I had happening to their family yẹn.
Darling.
So débi pé àti gbọ́ gbogbo yẹn interview movie yẹn gbogbo mo tẹ̀ ti gbọ́ dáadáa rí when the guy was angry, was not happy, gbogbo ẹ̀ ti wà ní public domain. And Lekan Abiola tún wà acknowledge ẹ̀ gangan. So with what happened, nobody's happy. I mean, nobody's happy. And so it's confirmed that 55 children, see Baba Abiola, MKO left behind. We shouldn't be hearing this. Èmi á kọ́ bóyá kí àwọn àgbààgbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá káàkiri kan intervene kan dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Even though the government, the federal government gan ìṣẹ̀ tó jẹ́ Lagos state across the Yorùbá land wọ́n láti dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí gbọ́dọ̀ ló máa lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni it's not good, it's not fair, to be honest, kò dẹ̀ dá. This is not our culture. Ìṣe tàbí kan wá lẹ̀ Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé tí èèyàn bá kú ọmọ tó bá fìlà àti ìyàwó kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn dúkìá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni there is wọ́n láti ṣe justice fún especially bàbá dẹ̀ according to him wọ́n ṣe wíìlì kalẹ̀ so kò dẹ̀ dára àtọ̀kẹ́ ẹ̀ tí wọ́n wá gbèsè ní gbogbo bẹ́ẹ̀ ni it's not really good to the moment it's not good. And going about some questions regarding the book launch IBB, to be honest nobody is bother about the IBB very easy. The only reason why táwọn ọ̀fẹ́ gbọ́ ni pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ní bíbí ẹ̀ what really happened táwọn ọ̀fẹ́ gbọ́ lẹ́nu ẹ̀ nìyẹn pé kó tó di kókó rẹ̀ tó kú lọ bá ọlọ́run sọ nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀. That is what people are expecting to say. I'm so very very disappointed tí IBB ṣe yẹn náà. And to what Kọ́lé kan said IBB fi orúkọ MKO yẹn ó fi ta ìwé yẹn
Ó ta ìwé náà.
àìlè ó fi yẹ orúkọ MKO ló fi ta ìwé ó lè wá parọ́ pé Abacha yẹn ló àná ti pẹ́ can you imagine ẹni tó ti kó ṣe bẹ̀rù ẹ̀ nígbà tó wà láyé ó ní òun bẹ̀rù ẹ̀ pé ó máa pa ẹ́ tó bá grand over fún kínní wọ́n ti sọ pé ó máa pa òkè ẹni tí wàá kú ìwọ náà ní òní pẹ́ lọ bá wọn sòótọ́ ó tún parọ́ mọ́ ẹni tí tó ti kú. I don't understand. Ṣé Abacha fẹ́ máa mọ̀lẹ́gba níbi tó bá wà? And look at the relationship tí Lekan Abiola established, which everybody know, but confirm láti the family source gbọ̀ngàn lélẹ̀ pé how close they were. And tó bá tẹ̀ believe pé ọmọ eliminate ẹ̀ gbà yẹn, tẹ̀sí ká ló bá fún wọn kó wá kó dákàrí tó bá bá eliminate kó wá fi dá Nàìjíríà pé because of Nigeria. Unity of Nigeria ni.
Sorry, man. The number to call ló wà lórí kí number to call ni wáyé pé lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ number to call ló wà lórí kí ni ẹ̀. Ẹjọ́ bá mi bẹ̀rẹ̀ number to call ló wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ̀fẹ́ tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ number lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ẹ bá sọ lórí lọ́gbàlá.
So what really anger me more ni pé military whatever the government did what they did for the unity of Nigeria pé èèyàn tó win free and fair election hand over fún unity wo lẹ́ ń sọ. How can you preserve the unity? Gbogbo how?
Jerry,
Nigeria voted the pay at the same time because of unity Nigeria again and later go for more again. For the 1 year. It's not over for Kawa will be on my net 2 weeks. See Nigeria there for Nigeria. Kawa will so IBB took us for a ride, and I believe so. Pẹ̀lú pé ó ti lọ pẹ̀lú bó ṣe wà tó wà lórí wheelchair yẹn, ó sì parọ́. And he still take her for a fool, and àwọn èèyàn kan jókòó síbẹ̀ ni wọ́n dáwó fún.
Mr. Ade, ẹ mọ̀ wọ́n dábọ̀ gbé ṣe rí Nàìjíríà ló pé àti gbà fún wọn ni. Lọ́wọ́ pé ìlú tó dáa. Tó ní fún ní jẹ́ pé ìlú tó dá ní ìlú Nàìjíríà ni even though kẹ́kẹ́ tó ń mú wà lọ síbẹ̀ pé gbogbo wọn ló fi wọn leader tó lọ́bẹ̀ kankan lọ tí wọ́n lọ síbẹ̀ máa yìí pẹ̀lú àwọn military general tó àná election yẹn pé àwọn tó ìwà láyé láàrin wọn ó yẹ kó lọ gbé wọn ní gọ́ọ̀mẹ́ntì mìíràn bí ìwà láyé tó dúkọ́ ní supreme military council that time wọn tó dúkọ́ ní supreme military council tó ní it's only Dr. Baki máa pè é padà o.
Ìtọ́jú àǹkà mi lẹ́yìn.
Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀rún pẹ̀lú máa pè é padà náà máa pè é máa yìí.
Bàbá sọ pé the same place ẹ̀dùgbẹ́ wa you came from the same place the same Abẹ́òkúta ẹ̀dùgbẹ́ wa tó ẹ̀ lè wá láti different Nàìjíríà Òwu Àgbàgbùrà but the same place ẹ̀dùgbẹ́ wa look at what Obasanjo. I don't understand how our own agreement is the way because try to go and Obasanjo and Oba dúró ìyá yìí ò lè pọ̀ báyìí try to never dúró ní sẹ́ẹ̀dì Yorùbá tó dúró ní ẹ̀jọ̀ bá ẹgbẹ́
yìí. Kọ́lá ẹ̀mọ̀kọ́dàbù ẹjọ́ fún wọn mi ẹ̀kọ́ pẹ̀lú Amẹ́ríkà ẹ̀ka fún wọn ní ìjà àkọ́ ìbà náà àkọ́ ìbà wọn ṣì tán àkọ́ ìbà wọn ṣì tán àpò ìbà pátá ìgbà àgbo ẹ̀dọ́ pẹ̀lú Amẹ́ríkà yẹn. Welcome online, Baba.
Baba mi. Ẹ kú ohun.
Ẹ ṣe bàbá wà láìpẹ́. Ẹ bá bá a dá sí. Ẹ ṣe.
Mo ní kí n bá yín dá sí náà ní sà.
Ẹ bá a dá sí sà. God bless you sà.
Ẹ ṣe gan ni sà. Ṣé rí ohun tí mo ti ń bá ètò bọ̀, mo rí gbogbo ohun tí Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Lekan Abiola sọ. Gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ni kì í ṣe àjòjì fún gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá mọ́. Àbúrò ti sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ̀gbọ́n ti sọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n ní Yorùbá ní ikú wọlé ahoro bá ń sá lásán kò lè bẹ́ni tí ò ní nǹkan. Tẹ́ bá gbọ́ gbogbo wa ló mọ ilé ayé bàbá wa Abiola MKO tí wọ́n fi pa àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá lẹ́kún. Ara àwọn ìjà tí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ń jà fún rèé o. Gbogbo politics wọn nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà wọ́n fi ń bá àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá jà. Wọ́n sọ ilé Ọládélé ahoro. Ta ló lè sọ pé ẹbí Abiola á dàbí ó ṣe wà lénìí? Gbogbo sábàbí ohun tí wọ́n ń ṣe wọ́n fi ń ní àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá lára. Ẹ wo bó ṣe sọ ilé Ọládé ahoro tí wọ́n ń bá gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ọkọ wọ́n yé sọ wọ́n di ọmọ àlè. Ẹ wo bó ṣe ba ẹbí tó dára tó lówó ní not only Nàìjíríà but nílẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Ẹ wo bó ṣe sọ wọ́n dìdàkudà. Concord dà lẹ́yìn gbogbo ohun mèremère tí bàbá ti ṣe sílẹ̀ Yorùbá àwọn dà lẹ́yìn. These are the consequences of bad politics, bad leadership, venom of evil politicians. Ẹ wo bó ṣe ń jà. Àwọn ń yan fanda, wọ́n yan gbádá, wọ́n ń ṣe gbogbo tó wù wọ́n kiri. Ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n pa ilé ọlá jẹ́, wọ́n fẹ́ sọ dahoro pátápátá. Ìmọ̀ràn tèmi kàn fẹ́ mú wá ní pé ẹ̀yin àwọn àgbààgbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kí ni wọ́n ń ṣe? Àgbà kì í wà lọ́jà orí ọmọ tuntun wọ́n ni wọ́n sọ. Àwọn ọmọdé yìí dẹ̀ ń pariwo síta láti ọdún yìí. Àbúrò sọ, ẹ̀gbọ́n sọ, àwárí àwọn àgbààgbà tó lóye nínú tí wọ́n lè dìde ní lọ́balọ́ba níjòyè tí wọ́n lè dìde sí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ṣùgbọ́n tó bá jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ politics ni wọ́n á ṣe kí lẹ fẹ́ fi san Abiola ní oore fún gbogbo tó ti ṣe fún wa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tí kì í ṣe Yorùbá nìkan ní gbogbo àgbáyé nílẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ àti nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n sọ ilé Abiola di ìdàkudà lẹ́yìn. Kí lẹ wá fẹ́ fi sọ tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá lè dìde tẹ̀lé ń wo àwọn ọmọdé yìí? Gbogbo wa ló mọ bó ṣe jẹ́ náà, àwọn àgbààgbà mọ̀ náà, wọ́n dẹ̀ wá ń wò wọ́n. Ẹ̀ka wọn sínú ẹ̀fẹ́ káwọn ọmọ ọlá kó máa wà kísà. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́ran máa jẹ̀fọ́ sùn. Ṣé yẹn náà fẹ́ ni? Kẹ́rí bí inú àwọn Yorùbá ṣe dúdú tó. Ìkò dìgbà tí wọ́n bá ṣe, ó yẹ káwọn àgbààgbà kí àwọn bàbá Ọbásanjọ́ ń ṣe, kí ni Ọọ̀ni Ifẹ̀ ń ṣe, kí ni oṣù wá sọ pé wọn ò gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí níta tó ni. Ẹgbẹ́ ìlọ́gbọ̀dọ̀ ṣe interview kó tó bá wọn dá sí. Ó yẹ kó dá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹbí ìnà eléyìí ti kọ́ nígbà táwọn ọmọ ti pariwo síta. Wọ́n ń pè kò dìgbà tó bá sọ pé lágbájá wà, wọ́n ti pè mọ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà fún ọjọ́ bá wọn dá sọ ti pé àwọn àgbààgbà ìlú. Ìyẹn la fi mọ̀ ìwà ọmọlúwàbí àwọn àgbààgbà ó yẹ kó ti bá wọn dá sí kí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kó ti níyanjú. Kì í ṣọ̀rọ̀ ẹbí nìkan nísìnyí, ó ti di ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo ìlú, gbogbo alamọ gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe jẹ́ ní tí èmi kò fẹ́ sọ nìyẹn bàbá mi.
Ó yẹ ìkọ́tẹ́ mi ní pé bàbá mi kẹ́tọ́ lọ kó ní pẹ́ lọ ìlú kí wọ́n á pè máa yẹn padà kó ní pẹ́ lọ ó ní pé èmi ìgbé Tinubu is the best person kó nu gọ́ọ̀lì àwọn olókùn fún fámìlì yẹn jù ló gbé àwọn pẹ̀lú àwọn MP wọn jọ ń lọ kiri gbogbo táìmì yẹn ni and then President Tinubu dey close mọ́ Kọ́lá Abiola so wọ́n mú gbogbo everybody wọn mọ ìkíní kan náà mo fi pé President Tinubu yẹ kó invite wọn sí Àbújá tó dẹ̀ pọ̀ because sínú bọ́dà Tinubu ní ìkan because sínú bọ́dà máa pè fún because tó mú tẹ̀lé Abiola lẹ́yìn kékeré ń dáìmù ẹni wọ́n yọ lọ sọ́dọ̀ Abacha ni wọn gbogbo ló wà lọ́wọ́ síwájú gbàtí nàdẹ́kò tó yẹ pé wọ́n àná election náà fi fà Tinubu gbogbo ló tún ló mọ̀sọ̀ pé òun ló tọ́jú wọn àbáyẹn gbàtí wọ́n sá nẹ́sàì gbogbo àbájá wà nẹ́sàì náà Tinubu ló tẹ̀lé wọn tó tọ́jú wọn fún nàdẹ́kò gbogbo táìmù ẹ tó Tinubu jà fún kíní gan so gbàtí má dẹ̀ rí pé wọ́n bá yà á bùn mo fi pè é kí Tinubu àti wọn ti gbọ́ wọn ti mọ̀ gbọ́ yẹ kí Tinubu di pé Kọ́lá kókó gbogbo àwọn tó kù náà kọjọ jókòó kọjọ sọ̀rọ̀ pé kí ló lè ṣẹlẹ̀ well I remember very well gbàtí mo wà ní Nàìjíríà dáìmù yẹn tó Kọ́lá fẹ́ gbàtí wọn kọ́ gba àwọn tẹ́ pé àwọn dáìmù náà Kọ́lá wá gba kíní Kọ́lá fẹ́ gba kíní kò fẹ́ gba kí wọ́n ti pè sọ́mẹ́tọ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ fún valentine ẹ pé ìtàlẹ́ pé abọ́kà ni kò sí abọ́kà bí nǹkan fún táyà ẹ ká abọ́kà náà abọ́kà fún Kọ́lá yarí kò fẹ́ gbà táyà yẹn ní àwọn kó wá gbà létà wọ́n fẹ́ fún ní bẹ́sẹ̀ appointment náà yẹn náà wá pa abọ́kà fẹ́ fún ó yà lọ́dọ̀ òun fẹ́ so ó yà bí ẹni pé bàtà wọn gbà tán sí gbogbo ẹ̀tọ́ tó kù náà tó wọn bá fún àwọn àbúrò tó gbọdọ̀ ẹ̀sìn gbogbo tó kù yẹn ló yà bí ẹni nígbà kí ló lè ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan so president múlẹ̀ kó òun lé ẹ̀kọ́ mú ẹjọ́ láti gbọ́ gbọ̀ngàn àwọn olùfíìgbà àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ pé family yẹn báwọn lè gbọ́dọ̀ sílẹ̀ tó pé yẹ wọ́n lo kí náà yẹmọ because president ó close wọn àbáyé MKO ó close wọn dáadáa ni wọ́n lè wá pẹ̀lú yẹn láti gbọ́n lè kó wá ẹ̀ka àwọn àbúrò ẹ̀ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí kó pé gbogbo àwọn Dóyin Abiola ìwà láyé Dr. Dóyin Abiola gbogbo àwọn tí yẹn ìwà láyé kó pé wọn kó jókòó mẹ́lẹ̀ sẹ́ni wọn kí náà yìí wọ́n ti wọ́n sí concentrate.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, òótọ́ rẹ sọ.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Ò babalá ọ̀tọ̀ rẹ. In fact, ṣe rí ara tí mo sọ nìyẹn pé àgbà gbọ́dọ̀ wà lọ́jà kórí ọmọ tuntun máa wọ̀. Ṣé ń gbọ́ bàbá mi?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Àwọn tó wà nípò yẹn náà ni. Àwọn náà lọ́dọ̀ dẹ̀ wá fi sípò nísìnyí gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórí ìlú.
Exactly.
Kò yẹ kí wọ́n máa wò wọ́n níran tí àwọn ọmọ ọkọ pariwo tí wọ́n ń bẹ̀bẹ̀ fún ẹ̀tọ́ wọn. Kò yẹ ká fi wọ́n lẹ̀ tí bàbá bá kú bàbá ní kù irú bàbá Tinubu bàbá ló yẹ kó jẹ́ fáwọn eléyìí nísìnyí nígbà tí wọ́n mọ̀ pé ipò tí bàbá wọn wà ní táwọn náà dẹ̀ wà lẹ́yìn iṣẹ́ gbogbo yẹ gbogbo wọn kìlẹ̀ ń ṣe bàbá Tinubu nìkan ló wà lẹ́yìn bàbá Abiola wọ́n pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ wọ́n dẹ̀ wá dáwọ́ lẹ́rọ̀ wọ́n ń wò wọ́n ṣe rí ìgbà tá a bá kú làádèrè ọ̀rọ̀ ṣe ni wò ká lè mẹni tó fẹ́ ni ìfẹ́ tara ní oníkálukú ni wọ́n bá ká àtẹni tó wà lẹ́yìn Abiola tó o bá ṣoríire ló máa mọ̀ kó ló máa rògbò lọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ ìgbà tó o bá ṣubú ló máa mọ̀ orú ọ̀rẹ́ tó o ní ẹ má jẹ́ ká tanra wa gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n tẹ̀lé oní Abiola kiri oníkálukú ń de tọ́ọ̀nù títí ẹni àmọ̀rí ìbá kú òun ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn tó bá jẹ́ pé lóòótọ́ ni èmi ò ní fọ̀rọ̀ sọ abẹ́ àwọn sọ tó bá jẹ́ pé lóòótọ́ ni wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ Abiola tí wọ́n tẹ̀lé lóòótọ́ wọn ò ní máa wo ẹbí ẹ̀ kí wọ́n máa jìyà báyìí kí gbogbo nǹkan tí bàbá ti ṣe sílẹ̀ kó máa bàjẹ́ lójú wọn torí oníkálukú tara wọn ni wọ́n ń dù kò dìgbà tẹ́ ẹ bá ṣe sọ ẹ̀yin kọ́ lẹ máa kọ́ wọn gbogbo wọn wà nípò àgbà wọn wà nípò ọlá wọn ò rí ti Abiola rò mọ́ nítorí àmọ̀rí ìbá àkú ni kọ́lọ́ kó wa yọ kọ́lọ́ jẹ́ káwa náà ká kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nínú gbogbo tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ká get sense ẹ ṣé bàbá mi.
Ẹ ṣé o Dr. Bakin thanks a lot.
Ẹ ṣé.
Jẹ́ kí n pe tí mo bá sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan padà lóòótọ́ ni kò bí Dr. Bakin sọ Dr. Bakin parí ọ̀rọ̀ lóòótọ́ èmi máa àpèsè Kọ́lá Abiola pé kó jọ kó fa àwọn àbúrò ẹ̀ mọ́ra ẹ̀tọ́ tó bá tó sí wọn kó fún wọn because ẹ̀yìn kan yá wá dé bọ̀ Kọ́lá tèmi mọ̀ ń táìmì ẹ̀ o tí mo mọ̀ kí mo mọ̀ ń táìmì ẹ̀ o Kọ́lá ò tẹ̀ fẹ́ nǹkan tó fẹ́ di ọ̀rọ̀ ó sá fún kí ní àwọn nǹkan family ń táìmì ẹ̀ pé mo rántí táìmì Kọ́lá ń yẹra but ìsinmi gbọ́dọ̀ wá di ìsinmi pé wọ́n wà ní position tó tó gbogbo ẹ̀ fún Tinubu gbà ń sìn tó àbúrò pé kò tó jẹ́ káwọn lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ lójú àmì lẹ́nu because mo tó mọ́ dáadáa táìmù kò fẹ́ gba kí ni padà ní táìmù ìgbà tí Abaka wọ́n fẹ́ fún táìmù tó fẹ́ gbà ó bẹ̀ sí sá fún ẹni tí ìbá dé ó ní kọ́ṣà family pé kọ́ṣà contract òun àbí nǹkan tó wá fún un kọ́ṣà àmọ́ fún un kò fẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ family ó sá fún ọmọ mẹ́rin táìmù so olùwàyà mẹ́rin sọ pé ìgbà táwọn gbà tó gbogbo nǹkan tó wá belong to Abiola wọn lè ṣe DNA gbogbo àwọn tó bá ó lè pé àwọn ilé kan yìí pẹ̀lú àwọn ilé kan pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ àǹtí Doyin Abiola Dr. Doyin wọn tó kẹtẹ kó mọ̀ pé they are very close wọn yẹ pé bàbá wọn àlẹ́ tí wọ́n wà nílé gbogbo ọjọ́ ṣètò kẹta tá yẹn àti kọ́ láti ẹ̀kọ́ fún àwọn àti ẹ̀sọ́ pa àwọn tó yẹ pé àwọn tó wà ń ta àwọn àti àwọn tó wà nílé ńkọ́ yẹ kí wọ́n kọ́lá ìní àkọ́lá kó fún àwọn kó pa àwọn àbúrò ẹ̀ mọ́ra kó fún àwọn àbúrò mi àdánṣe kọ́lá àti ọmọ ìjẹ́ pé ó lè kí nígbà wáyé àbílẹ̀ nígbà ojú wọn gbọ́ ọ̀sẹ̀ ó yà àbílẹ̀ nígbà ojú wọn gbọ́ ọ̀sẹ̀ and if I even see him I will tell him I tell him we go try kó fún àwọn àbúrò ẹ̀ mọ́ra and then I will call on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu káwọn náà kan try kan intervene pẹ̀lú àwọn àgbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àti President Tinubu is the best person tó wà pèsè ló lè bá Kọ́lá Abiola sọ̀rọ̀ Kọ́lá Tinubu pẹ̀lú Bob D náà Délé Momodu Bob D náà kan involve náà kan bíṣọ̀ pé wọ́n kọ́ ń ṣe pé Kọ́lá fa àwọn àbúrò ẹ̀ mọ́ra ọ̀dà ìdọ́lẹ̀ tí máa sọ. Adéríjà, I'm trying to call you back. I don't know. Your phone is engaged. Yeah, ẹ má bínú ẹ̀kọ́ bàbá ẹ má bínú ẹ̀kọ́ yẹn. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀kọ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ yín lọ. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀kọ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ yín lọ. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀kọ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ yín lọ. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear you now. I better hear this name. Náà kò bá dé lọ ẹ̀pì lọ ni. Mo ní mò ń gbọ́rọ̀ yín.
Ok sir, ẹ má bínú sir. Mo ní ká má bínú ẹ̀ kan pé akọ́tọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ ilé mu, ẹ má bínú ẹ̀ bá sọ̀rọ̀ yín lọ. Ẹyin ẹ̀jẹ̀ brilliant, tẹ̀mí gẹ́gẹ́ bí last caller ṣe sọ, ká má sọ̀rọ̀ lóòótọ́, gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tí Mr. Lekan Abiola sọ regarding his family affairs ló wà ní public domain gbogbo ẹ̀ láyé. And the first one was that again, gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo lè sọ tí mo tó fà lórí níwájú níta gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀sẹ̀ ìfọ̀sẹ̀ ìfọ̀sẹ̀ lọ́jà. Torí orí àwọn ọmọ tuntun yìí ti ń wọ́ gidi gan lọ síbi tá à ń lò. Because it is so sad. Kò jẹ́ kí ojú orúkọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kó máa ṣe láàrin family Abiola bẹ́ẹ̀ kò jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Because látara ìjà Nàìjíríà àti ìlọsíwájú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni bàbá wọn kú lé lórí. Ṣẹ́gbẹ́ ti bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá wọn kú lé lórí.
Ìyàwó náà kú lé lórí.
Ìyàwó náà kú lé lórí. Gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣe rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn yẹn. So the little one tó kù tọ́mà hangọ̀ káwọn sì gbégbá bára pé ẹjọ́ ẹ̀ṣàlúwà àtọ̀tọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn o. Tọ́ba gbé fún ọ̀gbẹ́ gan ẹ̀tọ́ ni kí Nàìjíríà gan kọ́ compensate wọn gangan lórí sacrifice bàbá wọn ṣe lórí democracy tá à ń brief lẹ́yìn gbogbo lè tá à ń jà tá à ń bára sacrifice kàkẹ́ ni pé bàbá wọn ló sacrifice fún wa táwọn democracy tá à wà lórí ẹ̀ fún bí 24 years lẹ́yìn sí sacrifice bàbá wọn ètùtù bàbá wọn ló ṣètùtù wọn fún wa tá a fi lẹ́nu sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yìn bàbá wọn ló jẹ́ kí alẹ́ military wọlé padà gbogbo wa tí people that to be young at that time pé bí ibi ti ẹ̀rà ní wàhálà kọ́kọ́ tó kí wá pàṣẹ. People are on Gen Z tó bá tẹ̀ mọ́ kankan but the other generation ẹ̀yin sà tẹ̀sùn jẹ́ big ọ̀fùfù wa you know what happened.
Mo ní mo jẹ gbèsè wọ́n bà mọ́tò mi jẹ́ wọ́n bà fọ́ mọ́tò mi wọ́n fọ́ sí wẹ́wẹ́.
So ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ló dẹ̀.
èmi náà bọ́ra gbánú ẹ̀.
ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn dẹ̀ ní ló dẹ̀ sacrifice fún júùtù ẹ̀sẹ̀ tó fi lọ tá à ń fi ní democracy tá à ń lè lè bó wá ṣe ní láàrin jù ni pé nǹkan tó wá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin ọmọ bàbá yìí lórúkọ tí bàbá wọn sílẹ̀ torí ẹ̀tọ́ wọn lélẹ̀ yìí nǹkan ẹ̀tọ́ wọn ni tí bàbá wọn sílẹ̀ fún wọn ni so the only thing tí wọ́n lè fi culture traditions ni kì í ṣe pé bóyá nǹkan ní kankan lè ní àìsàn pé kẹ́nìkan nínú gbogbo ọmọ bàbá yẹn kẹ́nìkan wá dá gbogbo ẹ̀ kẹ́yìn tó kù lọ ṣiṣẹ́ it doesn't make sense ká máa sọ pé yẹn ẹ̀gbọ́n wọn yẹn ni kó ilé ti gbogbo tí bàbá wọn ní kò make sense kò sí tó tún ṣe yẹn ká máa ní yẹn ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ lọ rọ́ọ̀dù ẹ̀ lọ ṣiṣẹ́ tí bàbá Yorùbá ṣiṣẹ́ kalẹ̀ kan sẹ́lẹ̀ nǹkan tó lè pé kẹ́nìkan wá kó gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ it doesn't make sense kò sí tó tún ṣe yẹn ìyẹn ni ló dífá fún òwe tí dájú yẹn dájú yẹn tó tọ́ sọ pé kí làwọn bàbá wò wọ́n ní láti ìpàdé wọ́n ní láti dá sí i torí mo wo bọ́ọ̀lù àbúrò ní lóòótọ́ bó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ìkọ́ra ló tún sọ̀rọ̀ lóòótọ́ kò lè dá and he has reached out to people mo dẹ̀ believe pé Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá ò ṣẹni tí wọ́n bá sọ̀rọ̀ kò ṣẹni tí àwọn àgbàgbọ́ ò lè bá sọ̀rọ̀.
àní mo wà shock mo ní mo ń gbọ́ yìí.
sẹ́kẹ̀tì bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kọ́ lọ sí court simple tó bá ní òun ò lè gbà òun ò lè kó gbogbo kí yẹn lẹ̀ òun ò lè ṣí àwọn dúkìá bàbá wọn pẹ̀lú àwọn àbúrò rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ ọba kan òun ò lè ṣí àpẹ̀lú wọn kẹ̀kẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni whatever the case whatever the reason kọ́ lọ sí court tó bá yẹ pé there is any clause tó sọ pé òun ò lè ṣí nǹkan bàbá òun pẹ̀lú ọba kan òun kò jẹ́ ká mọ̀ if there is any clause bóyá ìyá wọn ló ní ni o bóyá ìyá wọn ló ní dúkìá yẹn tó fi kó sọ́wọ́ bàbá wọn ni bóyá torí ẹ̀mí kò fẹ́ kó lẹ̀ ní kó sọ káyé gbọ́ we can listen we can reason tó bá yẹ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni a máa mọ̀ tó bá yẹ pé nǹkan bóyá another week kan wà nílẹ̀ tó supersede tí bàbá wọn ṣe kalẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Lekan Abiola ṣe sọ yẹn tó bá yẹ pé èyí tún wà sípìtì ni kó jẹ́ ká mọ̀ tó bá yẹ pé tí ìyá wọn ṣe lòun fẹ́ dúró lórí ni kó mú jáde kárí simple wọn kó yẹ ṣe ilé tó ṣe yìí it doesn't make sense so ìyẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn agbèdè sure pé the right people tó dáwọ́ àgbàdo wa to start taking a step ó jẹ́ tẹ̀wọ̀n ọba lọ́ba gbogbo ìjòyè kí gbogbo wọn kàn jọ wọn interview ìsìnkú nìyí kò jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ rárá tọ̀ because àṣà ni culture ni we don't need to be arguing for such a thing there kò dìgbà tó bá lọ sí court wọn lè kàn ṣe máa gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé gbogbo nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tó máa insist pé mo fi kólẹ̀ so gẹ́gẹ́ bí Lekan Abiola ti sọ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹjọ́ ọ̀rẹ́ tẹ́ súnmọ́ ẹ pé ẹ bá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yin náà àgbà ni ẹjẹ́ fún wa àgbà lẹ́jọ́ fún anáfẹ́lẹ́fẹ́ rẹ̀ sà ẹ pé ọ̀rẹ́ yín tẹ́ ẹ bá sọ̀rọ̀ kẹ́yìn náà kẹjọ́ kẹ́tù tí àwọn àgbàgbà tó wà nínú iṣẹ́ ìmọ̀ bóyá máa fẹ́ fẹ́rẹ́ pé tọ̀ bá ìlú tó rẹ mẹ́ṣẹ́ ó wà very very important nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ní pẹ́tọ̀ ẹ̀yin tábìlì Lekan Abiola ó bá ìlú sọ̀rọ̀ ẹjọ́ ẹ bá ẹni tàbí sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ má jẹ́ kó lọ báyìí kó dá kọ́ pé wọ́n kọ́ bá sọ̀rọ̀ ká ń gbọ́ tẹnu ẹ̀ kí ni reason why tó fẹ́ẹ́ sí àǹkọ bàbá yín pẹ̀lú àwọn ọba kan ẹ̀ is there any reason ṣé wíìlì kan wà lẹ̀ tí ìyá yín ṣe olùfẹ́ dúró lórí àbí nǹkan kan wà àbí wíìlì tún wà tó yàtọ̀ tí Lekan sọ káàmù torí gbogbo máa understand tí bàbá yín kúlé lórí ìyẹn mo dúró ní aspect yẹn now going back to nǹkan tí ó tún sọ again lórí tí federal government tó dé kó ṣe fún family wọn it's so sad láti ẹwọ bó ṣe ń compare tó Lekan ẹwọ nǹkan tí compensation ti Lekan nílé ní tí family ẹ̀ nílé ní lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n appoint ni o wọ́n elect ẹ o tó kọ̀ wá fẹ́ fún 3 months péré ẹwọ compensation ọkọ̀ tí federal government ṣe fún family ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó tẹ̀ ti kú up till now wọ́n sì ń dé lọ ẹ̀wọ́ àwọn èèyàn tó sacrifice gbogbo eléyìí kó má sí anything rárá àtọ̀ kó má tẹ̀ sí láti ìgbà tí wọ́n ti rọ tí Buhari ti fún ní gfsrc àbí whatever tó pè is.
Ogo ìyàbí lẹ́nu pé àwọn èèyàn wíkẹ́ẹ̀dì ẹni bá dínkù lè gbé láyé yìí o àwọn èèyàn wíkẹ́ẹ̀dì o ẹni kó ẹ̀kọ́ fẹ́ nu sólá tán ẹ̀kí àwọn kòtò láti gbà ẹ̀ compensate wọn ẹ̀tún wọn nígbà ẹ̀tún wọn fún wọn.
ọ̀nà pépà ni mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ìjà ọmọ yìí béèrè nǹkan tí wọ́n jẹ́ kó béèrè.
You dey need to ask no Mr. Kola Mr. Ko wait ṣé wọ́n ní ìdàtí béèrè kó tó fún wọn ní ẹ̀tọ́ wọn ní now you dey need to ask come abeg they are not a beggar ṣé wọ́n jẹ́ kó máa beg gbókè let's ṣé pé ẹ wá fún wọn ní ẹ̀tọ́ bàbá wọn gbóyè gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì mo kọ́ kó ṣe ní ṣé àwọn tó wà mẹ́ta wọn ni mo kú sílẹ̀ láíláí forever ni pàṣẹ fún wọn ní kankan òkè o ẹ̀tọ́ Abiola o láti bàbá báyọ ẹ máa sọ fún gbogbo yẹ kẹ wà detention wà tó wà election yẹn owó dẹ kó gbà ẹ ẹ̀dọ̀ ọmọ ẹ̀ tọ́mọ̀tẹ̀ ń jà pé owó ìwà tẹ bá parí ìjà yìí náà akó ìfún yín àmẹ́tẹ̀ máa fún lówó yẹn o bọ́ àdìkò ìdúró àdìkò lẹ̀ fún yín ó wà mẹ́ pé owó báyìí o what is coming doing about it. Thank you man ẹyin náà brown God bless you sir. I mean, nǹkan tí wọ́n tẹ̀gbọ́ owó yìí àti fúnlẹ̀ gbogbo ìtàkùn bàbá yìí o láti bàbá yìí dé bàbá yìí o ó ti wà ńlẹ̀ o wà lórí wà dẹ̀ kú tán nǹkan tó ṣe fún àwọn president bá kú tán a máa ṣe báyìí ká máa ṣe lọ fún ẹni ní wọ́n ti dé mọ̀ wọ́n dé ok tó bá ti bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá ké bẹ́ẹ̀ ni they should go to court because ṣàlùyẹ ní court dẹ́ tí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì bá kọ̀ tó wà lẹ́sìn fún kọ́lẹ̀ bá láti gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ní court dẹ́ entitlement bàbá wọn àti bàbá wọn ìjọ state tó tó àwọn federal president àwọn fẹ́ máa gbà tó tọ́sí kọ́ gbà àbí because gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wọ́n ti sọ pé home election wọ́n ti gbé decree wọ́n ti gbé wọ́n ti lẹ̀ wọ́n ti executive order wọ́n ti ṣe gbókè o former head of state gba kìíní káàdì kò sẹ́ni tó challenge ẹ̀ ní court pé kò sí bẹ́ẹ̀ gbogbo adẹ̀ ti gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ so gbogbo entitlement kọ́ fún gọ́ọ̀mù ẹ wò ó sí ilé ó yẹ kó máa gáàdì lé wọn yẹn fọ ilé lójú kó fẹ́ tẹ̀kì gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì kọ́kó wọn polisi mẹ́ta síbẹ̀ kó máa gáàdì lé yẹn tó yẹ pé àwọn ọmọ bàtún lọ́bẹ̀ lọ́dún àtàkà ọmọ ọlọ́mọ nílé yẹn.
mo lè fẹ́.
Why are we so wicked?
mo fẹ́ àpì ìyíṣà lórí ètò mi.
Yes, sir.
Àwọn south west governor wa opportunity tó ń rí lẹ́yìn sacrifice MKO ní gbogbo wọn rí tán tí wọ́n jókòó sí ìdáyẹlẹ mi. They should come and do something to the family. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí Lekan Abiola ti sọ 55 ló wà nílẹ̀ káwọn gbọ́n accommodate díẹ̀ náà kọ́ fún ní appointment káwọn gbọ́n governors fún ilẹ̀ káàró òṣèré káwọn gbọ́n absorb ọmọ yẹn sí kọ́ fún ní physical appointment gbogbo ilé tí gbogbo appointment kan táwọn ẹsẹ̀ kan tó fún ti kéré jù kọ́ pé wọ́n kọ́ sọ fún each state ní south west mélòó ní afẹ́fún iye báyìí kí wọ́n ṣètò yẹn kó àwọn gbọ́dọ̀ fi ọmọ ẹlẹ́dẹ̀ yẹn kó dá because on the platform MKO ní gbogbo southwest governors wálé ní ìsìn tí gbogbo wọn lọ kára kan gbogbo mọ́tò fèèfèé tí wọ́n gbádùn tó ń jẹ house of rep wọ́n jẹ senator tó ń jẹ lawmaker tó ń gba gbogbo àkóso káàkiri táàdé gbàgbọ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ yẹn ààrẹ tí ní gbogbo nàìjíríà bá ní accommodate gbogbo ọmọ yẹn pátá but at least the southwest government they are capable láti absorb ọmọ yẹn kó fún wọn ní àkọsílẹ̀ kó fún wọn síbi tó dáa kọ́mọ́kọ́ jẹ́ pé bóyá ní bàbá wọn ti ṣe wàhálà kan ti fẹ́ kápọ̀ òkúkọ́ dáhùn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn it is not fair.
kódà
nìkan ṣe péré ìjọ ìdí ìṣàbá ti dé nìkan ṣe káàkiri bá kọ́bí lọ́dún.
ẹ̀sán ni ká gbọ́ bí ọdún yẹn gbọ́.
ìtọ́kù kò sí kankan.
mi sí ìyàgò ètò.
kò sí kankan tí wọ́n lè tá ọmọ ilé benefit.
ọ benefit bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀sán ni olùkà ètò olùsùnmọ̀ mẹ́ẹ̀ tó lùsùn igi náà thank you Ariola God bless you ọmọ mi. Don't listen, man. Don't listen to everything, man. Go down. No, nífẹ̀ẹ́ tí mo nǹkan báyìí. Kí ló ṣe wá Yorùbá náà? Kí ló ṣe Yorùbá? Kí ló ṣe wá Yorùbá náà? Wọ́n náà fi dọ̀kọ̀ lọ́rọ̀ wá.
Ogun kọ́ they should come up and kọ́ try láti ṣe nǹkan fún àwọn ọmọ yìí. Kọ́ ṣe nǹkan fún family wọn. Kọ́ fún wọn ní appointment dáadáa. Kọ́ fún ọsibí tó dáa. Gbogbo ilé tí wọ́n gbádùn lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ṣe àpòyàpọ̀ yìí. Èèyàn kọ́ ló sacrifice náà.
Exactly.
Ó sacrifice adé orin sí 55 children sí fún wọn ní kankan wọ́n tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ gan ni. So it is very sad. Mi ò fẹ́ agree pé Yorùbá ṣòro jà I don't want to agree that and I don't want to believe in that and I believe we can do better. Mo mọ̀ pé a lè ṣe dáadáa ọmọlúwàbí tẹ̀lé wa mo mọ̀ pé we can do more we can do better àwọn nǹkan tó dáa. Ẹ̀bẹ̀ ni mo bẹ̀bẹ̀ kí àwọn governors wà lẹ Yorùbá káwọn náà kọ́ mi kọ́ ṣàánú family mi kọ́ jọ kọ́ ṣàánú family mi the pain is too much every time tí bá rí wọn tó bá ń interview back I still crying ó máa ń tán lọ́kàn jẹ́ mi because I don't want to go I have to restrain myself there because I'm so my compound where I came from we are very close in my area so it's very very sad kí gbogbo governors wà pátá nílẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Thank you Ariola God bless you.
So ẹ jẹ́ kí n fẹ́ lómi láyè kan but the guy Lekan Abiola very brilliant solution 100% and the way that he handle interview very perfectly okay and I really like so much love the interview bó ṣe lọ ẹ ṣé gidi gan thank you very much akọgbisa.
Thank you Ade God bless you I really appreciate you ẹ ṣé gan gbogbo àwọn thank you. Ó tọ̀ lé Adédìsọ yẹn. Ariola, welcome on board my darling sister. God bless you. Now, Jerry Benson, ó tọ́ àwa Yorùbá iṣẹ́ pọ̀ fún ara máa ṣe, iṣẹ́ pọ̀ fún wa gan-an ni, iṣẹ́ pọ̀ fún ara máa ṣe ni. Ẹ tó jìyà fún kíní wa lọ jókòó. Very annoying. MKO ló jìyà fún kíní yìí. Babangida tó annoying lẹ́yìn bọ́lá wọn kò léwọn gáǹgì tó wà tó bí mílíọ̀nù kan. Yes, I know that tó tọ́ Babangida time yẹn, èṣù tó kó mọ́ra. gbogbo ìdókòwò nígbà tó bá gbọ́ ọ̀nà Abiola ọmọ àpá òun náà àpá Abiola àwọn tó bẹ́ ìṣù jẹun náà mọ̀ pé ìṣù lòun náà so òun náà ló kọ́ àwọn ìṣù jọ tó wà sẹ́nu ọjọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ olówó àṣẹ́mu àwọn ìṣù jọ so ó yẹ kó náà wà lẹ́wọ̀n pẹ̀lú àwọn tó jọ àná election yẹn wo kọ́nẹ̀ Abaka ọmọ tó ń kọ́ọ̀tì kílẹ̀ tó ń kọ́ọ̀tì ẹ̀ṣọ́ àtọwọ́ lọ́mọ tó ẹgbẹ́ yìí ní bright future tó yìí chief of army staff kọ́nẹ̀ náà retire máa yẹn fún torí pé ìyẹn jà fún Abiola pé àsìkò ní Nàìjíríà mi òun ò lè mọ tó wà lóko ń bè lọ pé kí ni sọ fi àná election Abiola òun ò mọ bí máa ṣe kú nìyẹn tó fẹ́ ṣe Abiola padà wọ́n yẹ mú máa yẹn nìyẹn wọ́n náà fi dismiss ẹ̀kọ́ ní àmì ìjọba mẹ́ta nobody hear about kọ́nẹ̀ Abaka ọmọ ọ̀rọ̀ kòtí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wọn Nàìjíríà wọn compensate nǹkan tó dáa irú àwọn tẹ́ka compensate nìyẹn Babangida lẹ́ńkó trillion fún ó tún kó lè fún ọmọ ó tún gbowó yín ó tún fi tọ́jú ọmọ tó wá ti kú tó mọ̀ pé wọ́n ti wà ní depression kínní wọ́n tún kó owó jọ ó tún kó owó tó fi àwọn ẹlọ́dẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́lẹ́sì 5 trillion billion 5 billion 10 billion ẹ̀dẹ́lẹ́sì. Then you donated 5 billion, like 3 billion. The other guy is equal because they 5 billion. And those are called for more. But they can't know that it make, but they can't not the Kojo. And to a body of democracy. Say, you are Babangida, they come to the Madao. And they could get we shall why. They go comes law, go, and no. But look about to don't just don't want to bring me down to die, man. The mark you are lying now. The mark is still you are lying. You want to double threatening way to have a problem like Babylon to the last 24 hours. I don't do how to threaten Babangida here. But to man over phone, can you touch it? Can man over? They could last 24 hours. To Babylon. He became the Senate president. Why they go to be gentlemen? Bó tó tó àti nínú gàtú dáì gbogbo lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ààrẹ ṣíṣe tẹ́gbẹ́ ìlú tó dání tọ́pá kọmíṣẹ́ nìkan ìbàjẹ́ bá ìlú ẹ̀fẹ́ da ṣẹ́ríìtì dáhùn yẹn tí wọ́n ṣépè fún Nàìjíríà ṣẹ́ríìtì náà tó náà yàn fi láìkì Nàìjíríà tọ́pá kọmíṣẹ́ ìbàjẹ́ evil lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ yẹn a máa kọmíṣẹ́ èèyàn ṣiṣẹ́ ibi tán ẹ̀ lọ́n domi tó fún wà lórúkọ Abiola abẹ́sẹ̀gbẹ̀ kiri yẹ́s àgbàtẹ́wọ́ pàpàpàpàpà ó sọ pé òun àṣẹ ẹ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀wọ̀n fún to buy accept as head of military joint then yẹ kó okay wọ́n okay lọ fẹ́ẹ́ ṣe prison but treat every fellow ní nǹkan tó ṣe either death or life imprisonment nǹkan tó ṣe ní ẹ because ó dojú ìjọba bolẹ̀ ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó kú fún kíní ẹni rọ̀bọ̀rọ̀bọ̀ ẹ̀dá gbáṣà fún bàbá yà ti dé tábà yà bẹ̀ sí pa àwọn èèyàn rẹpẹtẹ lọ. Àìmọye èèyàn tó kú nínú ànàdẹ́kọ̀ ni ẹmọ ilé èèyàn tó sún ní ọsọrọ yẹn mídìí opó àbájókòó àwọn kọpílẹ̀sì èèyàn burúkú tó dáwọn ọlọ́pàá fẹ́ kó Nàìjíríà tó pé èèyàn burúkú ni wọ́n èèyàn tí ò dá ni wọ́n èèyàn pàkàkàn ni wọ́n ṣé inú kan báyìí kò ní máa bíyàn ọnú àwọn pàtẹ́wọ́ àwọn àbẹ̀sí pọ́ǹpù Babangida lánàá àbẹ̀sí pọ́nlé yeah he did this he did that for our selfish interest. Oh, he was my mentor. He was working on so you don't care about Nigeria. He go there, he budget that were after. Nobody care about pay. He just want you Nigeria. Keep Nigeria human care and buy. He budget la conversation. Okay, tell me. That man should go buy. Be very down. Back on the plan. Láyé kọ́mẹ́sì ti bàjẹ́ ìlú yẹn ò lè dáa níyè pé dáwọn ìlú wàá májí láwọn ìtumọ̀ pé God bless United Kingdom èmi ń sọ pé God bless Nigeria United Kingdom máa ń dárúkọ bíkọ́ ìlú ló nu mi lójú mi lọ́sọ̀ mí dèèyàn tí mo lẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀ tí bá dúró Nàìjíríà yẹ ọlọ́run bá ti bàjẹ́ tẹ́mi tí máa wà ní Nàìjíríà tí mo wà ní Nàìjíríà lé ní bẹ́ẹ̀ àbáyé náà bẹ́ẹ̀ ọlọ́sọ̀ máa ti wà ní grave ọ̀gá ọ̀sẹ̀ mi wà ní prison. Tí yàrá tó bá dojú ẹ̀ èèyàn agbé ìwà níwàhù agbé ìwà níwàhù but thank God for this country. Why would I pray for this country? Tell me, if I pray for United Kingdom, àwọn yàrá máa wà grave máa fi kú bá wà grave sí United Kingdom ni wọ́n lójú mi ó sọ mí dé èèyàn ó jẹ́ kí n lẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀ our own country tàbí wá wọ́n celebrate evil ni Babangida jáde ó lóun lọ́ọ̀ṣì ìwé yẹn kó ẹjọ́ kò síbẹ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ mi ti lè nú yín dùn ẹ̀ pàtẹ́wọ́ fún ibi junior nú yín dùn ó lẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀ ó lóun accept gbàdúrà accept okay go on straight prison go on straight prison tó gbé olówó accept orúkọ dábùn the government yeah you are the head of military john dead okay ó yẹ kó wà lẹ́wọ̀n ni ó yẹ kó wà lẹ́wọ̀n ni ṣé pé ìlú tó da ìlú dẹ́pẹ́ ṣé wọ́n lè dánwó ẹ̀wọ̀n ní àwọn ìlú míì tó kù yẹn ni wọ́n lè dánwó ẹ̀wọ̀n náà máa kó sí ẹ̀wọ̀n ni o èèyàn gbogbo Nàìjíríà vote èmi mo vote ní ward mo ti vote èmi ni first person ní ward mo ti vote lọ́jọ́ yẹn mo ti jí bẹ́ẹ̀ láàrọ̀ kùtù ní ìmọ̀kọ́ kí báyìí I was the first person láti tẹ ẹ̀kún MKO I was the first person on the line tó kẹ́ fi ọmọ wa fẹ́ di president ní wa ń dùn I was the first person mo wọ́n ti dáadáa àròjọ́ yẹn mo ti tó mo ti èmi ní ìgbàdàn gbé kílẹ̀ kan èmi mo lè gbàgbé láéláé èmi ní first person níbi tí mo ti ní wọ́ọ̀dì mo ti vote lọ́jọ́ yẹn èmi ní kọ́ tó bá bá mọ́tò ìjẹ́ níta àdán fọ́ gbogbo nǹkan mi ṣé Nàìjíríà fún mi lónìí ìtúnṣe ni Nàìjíríà fún mi lówó àwọn ẹbí mi ló fún mọ́tò mi ṣe mo sunkún bí ọmọ ìkéré ni kòròfò lókù wọn bá sún pàpà àjìyà fún gbọdọ̀ àjìyà fún wèrè kan wá dé ó wá jókòó síbi kan lórí wíṣà kan jẹ́kọ́ fi ṣe àyìn lọ́gọ́ fi tì dé ẹ̀wọ̀n ẹ̀ ń pàdánwó fún un pé ẹ ti jẹun lára ẹ̀ wọ́n á gbẹ̀dẹ̀ ẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ̀pẹ́ rí ẹ̀wá sọ́dẹ̀yàn ẹ̀wá sọ́dẹ̀yàn lọ àwọn tó jìyà fún ọmọ tó jìyà àwọn tó jìyà wọ̀nyí ẹ̀ rántí wọn you don't care about them ẹ̀tọ́ wọn ẹ̀ fún wọn lẹ́tọ̀ wọn I can maybe 20 people or 30 people come and they call job because any ìbọn dání ìbọn Nàìjíríà tẹgbà wà láfíra táfíà mú náà láfíra ìbọn yẹn táfíà mú náà láfíra yín lọ sí the train tẹbi di general tẹbi di colonel tẹbi di gbogbo tẹbi tẹtu ẹfipá pàjọba nobody elect you as president nobody elect you as member of the Supreme League Council ẹlẹkùn force yourself there you are no you suspend Nigeria constitution you impose the creed on us. tó gbogbo ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́ẹ̀kan kú sí ẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́ẹ̀kan wà àwọn pàtẹ́wọ́ fún wọn wọ́n tẹ́wọ́n ti tẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bàbá yìí the first day dúró pé wọ́n suspend constitution Nàìjíríà ẹ̀gbọ́n Nàìjíríà constitution be suspended bó tọ́ nìyẹn wọ́n impose the decree lé wa lórí so they were there by decree ló fi rule lé wa lórí nobody elect them there so they should be in prison by now kí pé ká tó wà mọ́ celebrate Babangida kan pé ó sọ pé òun accept nǹkan ìpàdé wà accept nǹkan yẹ wọ́n sọ accept yẹn ó jẹ̀bi ni ẹ ó yá ẹ̀wọ̀n ni pẹ̀lú gbọ́n David Mark gbogbo tó ìwà láyé all those members of America tó ìwà láyé àtúndẹ̀ ti kú láàrin wọn fúndẹ̀ ń gidi kọ́lọ̀ pé kìíní àǹkọ̀kọ̀ lọ sókè mọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ àjáde wọn pé ẹlẹ́wọ̀n ni wọ́n yìí mọ́ṣẹ́ lu yìí so ẹlòmíì ní ókè ìgbà tí Babangida ṣe tó mú jẹ́ ẹ̀sìn wọ́n lè mí ò ti ṣe lọ́la ó tún fi gba trillion of kìíní ó tún gbà mẹ́ẹ̀ tó gbogbo là ń lọ Nàìjíríà lọ́kì Nàìjíríà dá tàbí pé Nàìjíríà tó fẹ́ dá nìyẹn bí Nàìjíríà tó fẹ́ dá nìyẹn bá tẹ̀ sọ pé àgbà ìbánisẹ̀ tí sínú àwọn náà lè máa wà mẹ́ so ìwà burúkú wà nú wa ìwà burúkú ayé wọn run ó wà nú wa kí ló dé èèyàn wà bàjẹ́ ẹmọ èèyàn tó kú sí ni èmi ò lè gbé mọ́tò wọn fi kú mi ò lè má dákọ̀ wọn tán fún that June 12 nàdẹ́kọ́ tó ti dánrùn ilé ayé wọn harassment àwọn bàbá ajá sí gbogbo wọn ẹgbẹ́ tó wà harassment nǹkan àbádẹ́sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn yìnbọn bàbá dẹ́sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn jẹ irú kìíní Bishop Gbódìgì àbáwọn harassment nìkan Bishop Gbódìgì tó ń gbé wọn tó gbé àwọn àbárúgbó wọn tó ń gbé wọn ṣeré ni. Jẹ́wọ́n Akínládé gbogbo wọn ló sọ́dànù John Suleman bàbá Dr. Akíngbà all those leaders, all those leaders, Baba Adefarat, Baba Kinuko, Baba Chibulfalaye, all of your Falaye, Baba Nibabati Monko, what you want to Falaye, what you want, what if you want, what I'm a long bomb. I told you from democracy one year. Oh, Falaye, to gbé kò sáfù náà bàtà. Àbáyé gbogbo wọn tán, ó lọ wọn ti mọ́lé, ọwọ́ ti fàṣẹun. Àwọn ààrẹ Gani Adams, gbogbo tí wọ́n tó jìyà, ẹ̀wọ́n ti tán, Babangida kan wá jókòó sórí wíṣẹ́ akọ. Wọ́n pàtẹ́wọ́ fún. Daniel, welcome on board, Daniel. God bless you. Ẹ̀wọ́n pàtẹ́wọ́ fún, èyí ń ṣe ẹ̀bí, ẹ̀wọ́n pàtẹ́wọ́ fún. Ẹ̀tún dúró, ẹ̀dí ní ìdòwò fún. Báwo ni ìlú fẹ́ dá? Báwo ni ìlú bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ dá? Kílẹ̀ ń kọ́ àwọn àtàbọ̀ lẹ́yìn àwọn tó wà tó tún junior sọ wá kílẹ̀ ń kọ́ wọn pé kí wọ́n fi wà bàjẹ́ wọ́n máa kọ́mpútà lùmùjẹ náà nìyẹn nígbàdédé aláàfin ìrìnàjò àti láti àkìlẹ̀ pàdé fún àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ overthrow ẹgbẹ́ra yín síbẹ̀ ilé overthrow ilé tó wọ́n overthrow tọ̀hún ẹgbẹ́ra yín síbẹ̀ ẹ̀yin pùtà ilé wa lórí ẹ máa rú by decree ẹ ti ọmọ mi mọ́lé ẹ bá lé bísẹ̀ mi jẹ́ ẹ pa ọmọ mi ẹ mọ ìyàwó tó ń pa ní mi lè má dákọ̀ wọn tán ló àwọn tó pa wọn lóyún wọn ló ń kà àwọn tó jìyà fún democracy tó jà ẹ̀wọ̀n wèrè kọ́ wá tó wá kó fún Babangida yẹ kó wà lẹ́wọ̀n ẹ wá fún lówó ẹ wá dọ́lẹ̀ tó fún lóun lọ́ọ̀ṣìwé ó wá fẹ́ kọ́ library ẹ mọ bílíọ̀nù tó máa fi kọ́ library yẹn ni tẹ́ Nàìjíríà lóní library ni ṣé Nàìjíríà lóní ṣé gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì lóní ni tí ó bá kọ́ tó fẹ́ gbé fún gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì pé ókè federal gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wá gbé fún ẹ o kówó yẹn ló máa ń bọ̀ owó tó máa ń níbẹ̀ àpòpọ̀ Babangida kọ́ ọmọ ẹlẹ́wọ̀n máa lọ náà ta ló dẹ̀ tó mọ́ kọ́ president library yẹn tún ta ló máa wà ṣáà ta ló lówó Babangida kò náà ọmọ ẹ̀ ní náà ṣé ìlú ló ní ní ìlú kọ́ ló ní náà gbogbo tó máa rí bẹ̀ ọmọdọ́mọ ẹ̀ kò lè tòṣì wọn láéláé ẹ wá ń lọ ọgbọ́n rí ẹ̀kọ́ kí níjọ ẹ fi pọ̀ sápò Fọlárìn gbọ́dọ̀ wà á dìbò jẹ́ kọ́mí Fọlárìn welcome on board my brother how are you wọ́n àdìyẹ mẹ́ta so annoying my brother so annoying ẹ̀yin leader wa yìí ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó ó yẹ kí wọ́n ti jú díẹ̀ o tó bá yẹ àti pé àwọn kan rẹ́bù ìwà àbàjẹ́ làwọn kan yìí ìwà àbàjẹ́ ni ẹ bá complete ìwà àbàjẹ́ kódà ọba ìjọ náà wà mí inú ẹ dùn Tinubu ọ̀sẹ̀ àṣìbà ìwà just laughing ẹfi ikú Abiola ìyẹn ti lọ ń lọ ìnìyẹn ẹ wo nǹkan tó àwọn Abiola ń go through àwọn tí ò ní bàbá tó ní màmá wọn ẹ mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń go through ẹ̀yin wà pẹ̀lú ọmọ yín pẹ̀lú ìyàwó yín pẹ̀lú ọmọ yín rí yín náà pẹ̀lú gba ẹ ti sọ ọmọdé ọmọ láì ní ọmọ kíní kí o ní bàbá kí o ní màmá kí o ní màmá. What a wicked war. Ẹ ṣe wicked bẹ́ẹ̀ náà. Gbàlú ìfẹ́ tòrò ẹ̀ tún gbé gbàlú ìfẹ́ tòrò. Ẹ bá compensate ìwà àbàjẹ́. Tó ẹlòmínà ti ṣe tiẹ̀ náà. Adùnmù jẹ, adùn arẹ́rìn. Yẹn ti lọ nìyẹn. Ìyẹn ti lọ nìyẹn. Ìwà àbàjẹ́ yẹn ti lọ nìyẹn. Adé ń bá adé inú wa dẹ̀ ń dùn nínú ìwà àbàjẹ́. Welcome on board, President Moyo. Ìwà àbàjẹ́ akọ̀pẹ́lẹ́tì ìwà àbàjẹ́ inú wa dẹ̀ ń dùn. Kí ni bẹ́ẹ̀ fi pé ìwọ̀n gbogbo ẹjọ́ tó kútikú nìyẹn. Ó kì í bẹ́ẹ̀ fi gbogbo ìyàrá wá jẹ gbogbo ìyàtà jà gbogbo ní kí ni bẹ́ẹ̀ fi tẹ̀. Ó wà gbogbo ìyà tó jẹ wá o. Mo tẹ̀mí tó ń bàjẹ́ sí i, ó fún mi ló padà ní. Èmi mú wá mo rówó ní tó mọ́tò ṣe tó fọ́ ọgbọ́ ẹ̀. Àwọn tó pa ń kọ́ tó níyà tó ní bàbá mọ́. Ìkọ́ adéwà kan wá gbé lábìrì kan tí bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ìfẹ́ jẹ́ fún ìlú fún Nàìjíríà tí a fẹ́ kéde bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kó lábìrì ọmọ ẹ pẹ̀lú ìyàwó ẹ bọ́ abẹ́ níbọ̀ tó wà kó ní àwọn tó máa jèrè ẹ̀ àwọn tó máa jèrè ẹ̀ tó sá lọ tẹ̀ gbogbo bílíọ̀nù tó ń dolé tiẹ̀ tó bá kọ́ tó ṣe àpò ọmọ ẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ń lọ mo jẹ́ ètò kó nàìjíríà tó jẹ́ tó wá pé láti mẹ́kọ̀ọ́ pé òfin kí ló fẹ́ ṣe fún àwọn ọmọ tí àdéjẹmọ jẹun láéláé o kọ́ máa tó máa kó yẹn jẹ lọ gbé òkè nífẹ̀ẹ́ donate owó yẹn bá gbèsè donate owó ti bá rí mẹ́fẹ́ kọ́ library the library kí ni benefit ẹ̀ jẹ́ ní nàìjíríà pé o àná election nàìjíríà o pa o best friend yẹ o execute best friend yẹ who is the mama nvasa o pa letter bomb ẹ̀fọ́ ní kí wá all those ìwà àbàjẹ́ wọn yẹn àná election Abiola ẹ̀pàyàwó ẹ̀ so ìwé dẹ́kọ̀ ìwé ìbàjẹ́ ìwé ìbànújẹ́ dẹ́kọ̀ ìwé ìbàjẹ́ dẹ́kọ̀ àwọn kan wá ń pàdé wọn inú wọn wá ń dùn pé everybody kan dẹ́nu ẹ̀kọ́ fẹ́ jẹ lówó àǹtà nobody care about anybody kò tí ì ṣe gbèsè bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ̀. That's exactly that. Okay, that never cool. Okay, what is our reason? They got to happen to our reason. That never cool from Nigeria more. That never cool from your back. That never cool from anybody more. Go see. Oh, why got to buy? What got to go for? Checking go. Hero come. Why got dead hero? You go to the end see. Dead hero. You no end see. Ọ̀sán bẹ̀ tó kí àpé gbé fún ìwà ọmọlúwàbí ó di dead hero ni ẹ I don't want to be dead hero ṣé irú ní mo rí ṣe wọn fẹ́ máa fẹ́ ọmọ mi ìyàwó mi ayé kó lọ pàdánù mi pé fẹ́ jà fún ìlú kan no way ìgbà tí mo ṣe ọ̀dẹ̀ fún oúnjẹ wèrè pé mo dáhùn rí wọ̀nyí ọdún akọ̀lọ́ gbé ẹ̀ síwájú ọkọ̀ kúkú gífà. Look at what is happening to Abiola family today and then bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ bàbá rí Alfred Wani kí ló ṣe fún ọṣẹ́ nìkan fún Tinubu nìkan ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ ló kọ́pẹ́rẹ́ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lọ fún páàkì bẹ́ẹ̀ páàkì náà fún kíní ẹ̀ àgbà ẹ̀kọ́ bàbá tó yẹ pé àwọn tó sọ̀rọ̀ nàdẹ́kọ̀ táyì tó nọ́ra tẹ́ bàbá yẹn jókòó ara ẹ̀ jẹ́jẹ́ àbá ìbámu àti ìkùpà tó kú yẹn bàbá tó kó ti kú náà nìyẹn gbogbo ọmọ ẹ̀ lé níta kí ni gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ṣe fún ọmọ ẹ̀ lé ní nothing tàlùtò èmi á ti mo yọ wá sí wọn lọ pé mo lọ jà fún Nàìjíríà mo jẹ Yorùbá kan kọlọ pa mí tàlùbà jẹ ìyá àbàdàn mi ló má jìyà ẹ ìyá àbàdàn mi ló má jìyà ẹ tó tà lọ́wọ́ fẹ́ gbé ẹ̀mí ẹ lẹ̀ tó wọ́n pé kò sí okòkò kífà látọ́ ni tó bàbá bá lè ṣe nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ kọ̀m̀pẹ́sì tẹ̀kẹ́ pé ń dá tírílíọ̀n bílíọ̀n tó ń bèkẹ́ kọ́ láìbírì kí ni benefit láìbírì fún Nàìjíríà ẹ̀tọ́ mi. Kí ni benefit ẹ̀ fún wa? Kí ni benefit library yẹn? Kí ni benefit ẹ̀ fún Nàìjíríà ẹ̀tọ́ mi? Èèyàn bàlújẹ́. Ẹ̀dùn ẹ̀kọ́ pẹ̀lú àtọ́jú pé in a good country ni pẹ̀lú wíṣẹ́ ẹ̀ńdẹ́ kọ́ fi tì ní ẹ̀wọ̀n. Kó wà lórí iṣẹ́ kó wá kọ́ àkọ́sí lọ́wọ́ bóyá lórí wíṣẹ́ kó jẹ́ mọ̀ iye náà wọ́n fi gbogbo ìwà àbàjẹ́ kò pay but you are compensating bad behaviours. Somebody to annoy election. Somebody to forcefully to brother Nigeria force to know taxpayer money wa tafira ìbọn tafira bomb la ko da can defend the trying to Nigeria. To fi ye pe yan to le wa lórí pé ẹ tó bá sọ òun apádànù ni ó wà tafira ìbọn tafira bomb tí kí ká mi fi defend kí wa Nigeria. But bá dé tán ẹ wá jókòó lórí ìbọn yẹn wọn lè wọn fi tírẹ́tì wọn tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ padà nù wọn náà fún wàrà kẹfẹ́ defend wa àti wọn lọ sí school gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ló máa sanwó ẹ lọ training abroad wo training lọ go military school ẹ lọ gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ló sanwó ẹ taxpayer money Nàìjíríà ni ẹ wá dé tán ẹ wá fi ìbọn yẹn tí a fi taxpayer money tàbíra ẹ máa tírẹ́tì wa ẹ wá ìpòsàn yín ló wà lórí ẹ suspend constitution Nigeria ẹ wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ rule by decree ẹ tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn pàdánù. Ta ló yan wọn síbẹ̀ ta ló sọ Babangida di president ta ló sọ Babangida di president ta ló sọ Buhari di president ta ló sọ Babangida di president ta ló sọ Buhari di president ta ló sọ mọ́tò àbúwọ̀n bẹ́ẹ̀ ta ló sọ di president wọ́n ń pèsè àwọn olówó lórí yẹn náà. Nobody elect them. The only president that elect is Buhari. All the civilians because la fọwọ́ wa yan síbẹ̀. àmì Shagari pẹ̀lú àwọn ọ̀dà kìíní àwọn civilian president tó wà bẹ̀ àwọn láyàn tó wà pé we elect them there but they are all the military wọ́n impose àwọn ọmọdé wa lórí ni wọ́n forcefully ni and by that don't they wọ́n dey kọ́ ló ṣe ó sọ̀rọ̀ Nigeria constitution pé àti ẹ̀ lárúbá láyà àti pé ẹ̀ ti pé ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ Nigeria constitution yẹn ó yẹ ìwọ̀n ilé ẹ̀kọ́ kú sí if you can come out pé gbogbo àwọn tó jáde pé fellow Nigeria constitution dey àbí suspended látọ̀ tọ́lọ̀ sí Nigeria constitution yẹn àwọn gbogbo ilé ẹ̀kọ́ sẹ̀wọ̀n because wọ́n tàǹbà pẹ̀lú Nigeria nìyẹn lẹ́yìn tó ń jẹ́ Nigeria tàǹbà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tí ó ń fẹ́ lónìí tó wà lè tàǹbà pẹ̀lú constitution Nigeria. But nobody is going to ask wọn àgọ́ ìwà bàjẹ́ ó kàn dùn wọn máa nú ó dẹ̀ mọ́ wọn nú ó dẹ̀ níwájú ẹ̀ ń dùn á sì wà bàjẹ́ níwájú ẹ̀ ń dùn. What a shame. Tẹ́lẹ̀ fẹ́ pé nǹkan lẹ́bí ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ fẹ́ kú fún Nàìjíríà mọ́ sí. Nobody fẹ́ kú fún Nàìjíríà mọ́. Nobody fẹ́ kú fún Nàìjíríà. Nobody. Bọ́dọ̀ àkọ́ndọ̀ pé ogun fún Nàìjíríà ogun fún yànkan orí ajọ́ máa yà fún ìfámìlì ẹ̀ kó fẹ́ ṣe ọmọ ẹ̀ kó fẹ́ ṣe ọmọ ẹ̀ wá kó gbé gbèsè tó bá kú ọkọ̀ gífà ni because ilé tí bàbá gíga sí ó yà rẹ̀ lẹ́nu tí ọmọ èèyàn tẹ́ pé gbogbo head of state all the generals tí àfọwà train all the ministers governors tó tó kẹ́ pàtàkì òfin tí náà ń dùn tó jẹ́ tó pọ́nlé ẹ̀ tí ẹ̀ sọ pé Babangida o olú accept kí next rẹ kó ṣe kó sọ ẹ̀dá rẹ fún kóòtù ni wọ́n tó kó accept ní sọ fún nǹkan tí kóòtù bá lè find out wọ́n find out gbogbo ẹ̀ but tí wọ́n fẹ́ lọ́wọ́ o wà no election o yìí táwọn pẹ̀lú condition Nigeria o ti overthrow government bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ pé kọ́ tẹ̀ ṣàánú ẹ̀ kọ́ lọ pé kọ́ fẹ́ ní house arrest ni kọ́ pé wọ́n fẹ́ kó ṣe wọ́n pé kó ipa àwọn ọ̀gbọ̀n jáde kọ́ fẹ́ house arrest síbẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ ń kọ́ sí ẹ lọ́wọ́ tó dà akọ́lẹ̀ mi lọ́gbọ́n mọ irú òun yẹ kán ti wíṣẹ́ abẹ kán ti wẹ́wọ̀n ni tí wọ́n sọ pé Babangida bá àlù yẹ tí wọ́n sọ rubbish kan sọ pé kíni so ẹ̀yin mi I will advise you guys pé òun lè ti rí yẹn pé ẹ má kú fún anybody o ẹ kọjá fún ara yín náà ẹ kí ẹ family yín wọ́n jẹ́ award kí n kú fún Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú àwọn oníbàjẹ́ tó wà ń bẹ̀ yìí what kì í wọ́n kàn tó tó fẹ́ kú fún Nàìjíríà kò kú gífà ni gífà yẹn ń bọ̀ kú because what Nàìjíríà what ìlú tí wọ́n kú fún pẹ̀lú ohun tá à ń rí wọ̀nyí ó ti kémi ní wà ó ti kémi náà lọ́gbọ́n mi lọ kú fún Nàìjíríà kan sí kan mi lè kú fún Nàìjíríà kan àrádá mo pè mí kú fún United Kingdom bíi mo pè then if anything happen to me they take care of my family that's it. United Kingdom wà bí ìlú onílù tí ọmọ mi rí tí mo forí dé pé mo sùkú wọ bíi ni tó ń nà mí lójú mi tí bá kú ní United Kingdom lẹ́ni pé ó gbọ́dọ̀ defend ìlú yìí lẹ́ni ìyàwó ìjọba mi kò ní àwọn yẹn kò ní family mi mọ́ ìtìwọ́jú gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀ wà ń lo ìgbà ẹ̀mọ́ kò ní mọ̀ sọ gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀ wà ń bí ẹ̀mọ́ kò ní mọ̀ sọ tí bá defend ìlú lẹ́ni tí mo kú fún ìlú lẹ́ni ìyàwó ní jẹ́ mi kò ní jẹ́ ọmọ mi mọ́ kò ní jẹ́ family mi. Exactly 158 military personnel don't come time ní plane ìjìgbò gbogbo ẹ lọ akọ̀ǹkọ̀ gbèsè àti ìwọ́rì àkọ́ǹkọ̀ yẹn ti lọ ní ẹ kérékì wá ti lọ gbogbo yẹn ti lọ ní ẹ somebody gbogbo nǹkan ìlú junior wọ́n ti lọ kọ́kọ́ dára ń dọ̀ fún wọn wà lọ sí à gbogbo ìtura ẹgbẹ́ kan wọ́n wọ̀ sí àdúgbò ẹ wá compensate bad behaviour tó tójú òtù wá ṣé ànílò ní Nàìjíríà ni ẹ kà parí ètò àtijọ́ tó 2 hours ẹ kà parí ètò ìfẹ́ kọjá 2 hours owó 2 hours wọ́n parí ètò ìjẹrẹ mo ti pẹ́ jù so ẹ ká ro dáadáa o èèyàn mi ẹ ká ro dáadáa ìwà àbàjẹ́ wọ̀nyí ẹ kó dópin ní àwùjọ wa ìkọ́ tó bá ti báyìí kó tó ní wọn fẹ́ kú fún Nàìjíríà o kò sẹ́ni bọ̀ tó wọn fẹ́ kú fún Nàìjíríà Nàìjíríà wọ́ọ̀tì kí wọn kú fún kò wọ́ọ̀tì I'm telling you wọ́ọ̀tì kí wọn kú fún Nàìjíríà gbogbo tá a rí wọ̀nyí tí bàbá lẹ́gbàá lè ló lè ṣe lómi jẹ ẹ wọ́n ọmọ MKO ní lament omi lè lọ sílé wọn ẹ jẹ́ pé ẹ lọ pé ìyá Nàìjíríà Nàìjíríà bàbá wọn jẹ ìyá wọn jẹ ọdún yọnyọ ọmọ kékeré àwọn wọ̀nyí ọmọ kékeré ọmọ mélòó ní tó yá lùsì àwọn ó lè bàbá wọn at that age the wicked the wrong complete family fún wọn lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ wọn. Fún wọn lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ wọn. Kò dá o tàbá ṣe kò sẹ́ni tó máa jà fún Nàìjíríà tàbá kọ́ńtò báyìí kò sẹ́ni tó máa ṣòro Nàìjíríà. Mo tẹnu mọ́ pé bí n bá kú fún ìrọ̀lẹ́kìn náà lẹ́ni mo ní kọ́ I'm ready mo ready àti defend ìlú yìí. Oh, but if anything happen to me, they will take care of my family. They will take care of my family. Mo lọ bí kan tí $1 million because tí wọ́n lè láì tí wọ́n ti yà máa gbà bí àwọn pé ọmọ British kan ní $1 million kan báyìí wọ́n fẹ́ wo kọ́lọ̀ ni mo jẹ́. Wọ́n fẹ́ mọ̀ pé wọ́n fẹ́ wo kọ́lọ̀ ni mo jẹ́. Wọ́n fẹ́ mọ̀ pé mi ò sọ pé ìṣègbè bá àwọn tó ń bí sínú iye sọ. Wọ́n fẹ́ mọ̀ pé they want to listen to my accent. Wọ́n fẹ́ mọ̀ once you carry that British passport. Tí yẹn sì wọ́n tẹ̀ fẹ́ mọ̀ ó bá máa kó máa sọ òyìnbó bí òyìnbó àwọn tó wà ní ìgbótakò ìlú mi. Wọ́n kíá ó ti bèrè wọ́n dúpẹ́ ìkan náà nìyí. Ìdánwìtú onídàájẹ́ pupa onídàájẹ́ funfun onídàájẹ́ nìtì. Ó bá dúdú kurukuru bí ihò lẹ́ni. Wọ́n àti bá jẹ́ sísì ni ẹ́. Wọ́n tẹ̀kẹ̀ wọ́n máa tẹ̀kẹ̀ ọmọ tó sọ pé wọ́n máa tẹ̀kẹ̀ náà ni ẹ́. Ìlú tó dá ni ẹ́. Ìlú tó dá ni ẹ́. Ìlú tó mọ ìyàn ni ẹ́. So why won't I ready to die for this country? I'm ready to die for this country. God bless another kingdom. That's why when I wake up in the morning, I say, God bless another kingdom. I know mo ti gain. Ohun retí ìyọ̀n ẹni kìí tó ti ṣe fún mi. But kí Nàìjíríà ṣe fún yín. Kí Nàìjíríà ṣe gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ wà ń bí lẹ́ni. Kí Nàìjíríà ṣe fún yín. Gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ jẹ́ mú bìtìkọ́ àbọ̀mọ́ Amẹ́ríkà. Ẹ̀mú ìyẹ̀tẹ́ jẹ́ ń bẹ̀ ni. Ẹ̀yìn ọ̀tẹ̀ bá délé ni. Ẹni ọ̀tẹ̀ bá wà. Wọ́n tẹ́ kí ayín ìyà gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ yín. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ jẹ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà ẹ̀ bá máa kó kí ló Nàìjíríà fẹ́ ṣe fún yín. Ìyà máa jẹ́ yín kú ni. Tó ṣe ìlú yẹn ìyẹn fẹ́ kú fún ìlú mẹ́rin. Ìlú yẹn lọ fẹ́ kú àmupárọ̀ ni kọ́mẹ̀sì mo parọ́ ni mo parọ́ náà. Ṣé ìlú yẹn lọ fẹ́ kú sí? Abímọ sí ìlú yìí wọ́n tẹ́kẹ̀ ọmọ wa. Gbogbo ìlú abímọ wọ́n tẹ́kẹ̀ ọmọ wa. Oh, thank you. Come here, God bless you. Gbogbo èrè tí kìíní jẹ náà ń jẹ ó jẹ come here jẹrẹ. Thank God this time. Gbogbo èrè tí ọmọ onílù jẹ lè wọ ọmọ á jẹ. Sọ wá tọwọ́ kìíní. Ẹni kìí àtọwọ́ kí má kú fún mi. I will die for this country. Well, against this country. I will defend this country. I will carry arm and defend the other kingdom. Yes, and when I wake up in the morning, I say, God bless another kingdom. God bless. I know my to be more one way. Then you really ìpàdé yóò ti lé ní. Gbogbo ẹni wà lóyún náà, ẹ mọ̀ kó ní mọ̀ sọ. Tàjọ́ enjoy benefit lóyún. Tàjọ́ enjoy benefit lóyún. Tàjọ́ enjoy benefit lóyún. Thank God. Gbogbo nǹkan tí a lè ṣe Nàìjíríà à ń ṣe mí falala à ń jayé falala à ń kí n falala tẹ́mọ̀ à ń jayé falala àdúgbò ọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run ìlú inú mi lójú wa gbogbo ẹ tó bá mọ ìlú yìí mo sọ pé ló ń gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ tó bá mọ ìlú yìí kò bẹ́ẹ̀ kó lọ fi jó lẹ́gbàdàn o. Ẹ ṣe òjòrè. Olú Nàìjíríà okay. Abájọ tí mo fi rí ẹ̀fọ́ lọ́hùn. Tó ẹyin ẹ̀mí wo ẹ jẹ́ ká máa dúpẹ́ ọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run àtàwà ń bí ká máa dúpẹ́ ọ̀dọ̀ Jésù. Máa dúpẹ́ ọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Kíkọ́ tó máa nàìjẹ́ ìyá tó máa jẹ wá á jẹ ìyá tó máa jẹ wá fẹ́ pa wá ni. Mo ra kíní ó fẹ́ fi gérun mo kà pé lánàá mo gbà mo ra. Mo wo lórí ọjọ́ Nàìjíríà àgbà ní nearly 200,000 bí n fọ́ lọ fáwọn lásán. Báwa Nàìjíríà mo lè rà ni mi ò lè rà báwa Nàìjíríà mo lè rà. Má kó 200,000 wọn lọ ra kíní mo kàn máa fi fáwọn mi lásán mi ò lè rà. Ìyá tó fi jẹ wá nìyẹn lẹ́ẹ̀tọ́ bá bóyá mo kówó jẹ níbìkan bóyá mo jalè níbìkan. Bá má jalè níbìkan ni bá mo lè jà níbìkan ó tán tí mo kówó jẹ tí èmi tó má gba 200,000 máa lọ rí owó wá ní ẹjọ́ rẹ̀ máa fi ṣe kọ̀fẹ́ fárun lásán. tó ṣe fún wa nílùú yìí nìyẹn. Àwọn Nàìjíríà kan fi àjẹ wá gbogbo ọkọ̀ bàjẹ́ olówó kan lówó sí ni tálíkà ti lọ tálíkà sí lọ ni tálíkà lọ ni tálíkà kò lè mímọ́ Nàìjíríà dátà wọn lè rà wọn lọ rí kíní. ẹ̀sẹ̀ kí ló fi ṣe láìbìrì náà ẹgbẹ́ kó bó ṣe lọ́dọ̀ fi ṣe láìbìrì àtọ́ pé bó ṣe ṣe kú ọdọ̀ fi ṣe kú pẹ̀lú máa sọ ìbò tó sọ pé lọ bá dínkà ọ̀rẹ́ òun kó wá inú fẹ́ kọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà nìyẹn lọ́dọ̀ kó sí láìbìrì náà nìyẹn láìbìrì bí láìbìrì owó díẹ̀ báyìí pé lórí burúkú má ṣe àǹfààní ni wọ́n owó ìjọba tó wéyìn tó kó lè náà ọtún àlàbújá owó yẹ kó pín káàkiri gbogbo state kọ̀ọ̀kan good hospital fáwọn èèyàn wọ́n gbé library kan ẹ̀mọ bílíọ̀nù tó ń tọ́ yìí ní 5 billion 10 billion tẹ́wọ́ ná 10 irú that 5 billion tí bàbá yìí gbẹ́dẹ̀ kó lọ fún loot kẹ́nà fún loot ẹ̀mọ ìpínlẹ̀ tó máa rà síbẹ̀ yẹn ni bí wọ́n gbé 3 billion tiẹ̀ náà kó nọ sí àná ìlú mi kó ń gbówó nǹkan sọ káàkiri gbogbo state gbogbo Nàìjíríà bóyá 10 billion kó nọ sórí ìjẹ́ra sùn tó wà ń bẹ̀. Make up this kind of money lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ make the book lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ come jẹ́ mọ̀ but we no do it wàá gbé library kan library tí ò ní benefit kan dé fáráàlú dẹ́pẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ mi ọkọ̀ fẹ́ sẹ́ẹ̀dì kọ́ mi fún ọmọ ẹ̀ àwọn ìbílẹ̀ family ọkọ̀ fẹ́ sẹ́ẹ̀dì kọ́ mi fún ọmọ ọba nígbà ìwọ ìdíwọ̀ yẹn dúró lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ bẹ̀ pé owó ti dé Ibrahim yẹn ọba yẹn kó dúró lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ bẹ̀ owó ti dé pé owó ti dé ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ lẹ́yìn owó ti dé ẹ̀ máa pé 2 billion 3 billion yẹn wá owó ti dé a máa lówó sí ni dáhùn tí a bá ti lọ tí a bá ti kú tán ibi ìpínlẹ̀ yìí tẹ́lẹ̀ náà ti kó jẹ ìpínlẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ náà ti lé tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀rì tó sì mọ́ ẹ̀rí skul ìyàwó ẹ̀ náà tẹ́lẹ̀ ni wọ́n kàn lo Nàìjíríà owó ẹ̀ tó ń donate fún library yẹn hospital yẹn kan fi kọ́ àmọ́yé kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ donate ẹ̀ tún kọ́ lè ra equipment hospital àbí education library what is library kí ni àǹfààní library kí ni wọ́n wà ní library náà pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe kú bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe pa délégé wá bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe pa best friend yín because of power your schoolmate your best man tó lè forgive ẹ lórí bó ṣe kú èkéèsì ẹ now o ti páàsì ìwọ lóró tẹ́lẹ̀ tí wọ́n tẹ́ ìgbẹ́ kan tó lè kó lójú kan yẹn kí benefit pé o pa fásà o páàsì o pa fásà ti kú ó dẹ̀ lè sùn pé wọ́n pa fásà wọ́n jẹ fúnra rẹ̀ pé ó ṣe kú yẹn tó wáyé kú nǹkan wọ́n pa ló fẹ́ stay in power ó jẹ́ òde wọn power náà forever ń sìn ṣé wàá mú power náà forever ó náà lu ìdíwọ́ tẹ̀gbẹ́ kan gbogbo tó ní ìsìn ò lè jáde mọ́ wà lórí ìṣekúṣe àmbẹ̀ ṣé o gbé ọlọ́run àtijọ́ tó máa ń pẹ́ mú yàn ó ti ń jìyà ìṣẹ́ tó jẹ́ látàyè yìí lọ ó ti ń jìyà ìṣẹ́ wọ́ ẹ ó ti ń jẹ́ látàyè yìí lọ ọlọ́run ti pọ́nìṣẹ́ látàyè yìí lọ lórí ìyà ìṣẹ́ tó ṣe gbogbo ìyọ́ tó ṣe ọlọ́run ti pọ́nìṣẹ́ tó gbọ́dọ̀ fi àjẹ Nàìjíríà ẹwọ ẹjẹ ká lọ ẹjẹ kí stop kí ni bí nfẹ kó gùn ẹ ṣe gan mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbọ́ ìdáwà lórí ètò ẹ ṣe gan wọn ti padà dé àyíndé thank everyone olùkọ́lọ́ mọ́yọ̀ thank you comrade thank you Richard all of you Dr. Baki everyone Engineer Brown everyone Desola olùkọ́lọ́ dẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹ má bínú ẹ ṣe gan or being part of the beautiful program. Mariwa, actually be a part of me. I'll be a part of me. Bye for now.